When did YouTube peak? 2020?
Before I got cancelled, yeah.
You got cancelled?
I did, yeah. And I was seeing numbers and even like revenue off YouTube I've never seen before. And then this situation happened with a girl that I used to date. It was a big mistake from my part. I should have been more like aware that the damage that this video could do. I remember waking up in Devon with my mum, bro, 200-300 DMs that morning.
Well, like hateful DMs.
Oh, bro, yeah, mum's address. My mum's seeing this as well. It's horrifying, bro. I've got to explain to her that like everybody's gonna like know about this. There's no hiding from it. I'm talking like school friends, industry friends, people, and everybody is gonna look at me differently now. I just kind of had to sit there with thousands and thousands of comments. I think I lost 20k on Insta over like a week. That's what I mean. So I've gone from being this vulnerable character that's tried to be honest with everybody, got lost in the sauce a little bit, and that one time it's just ruined my whole credibility.
Quick one, fellas. You probably heard a few months ago I dropped an ecom course, a very fucking guru of me, but it's not that. I promise you, 0 to 1, how to start a brand from scratch with no budget, some budget, a bit of budget. Take your idea from a bedroom to reality to potentially 7-8 figures in sales, like I've done a few times, based on my 7 years of experience in the trenches and my current experience building my current brand, Space Goods. It's no bullshit, no frills. We've had like 75 people go through so far. Not a single person has asked for a refund. Plenty of people have actually built some seriously impressive shit. Covers every aspect of the business. Not just the front end stuff like most gurus on YouTube and Twitter are talking about, not just product, marketing, all that shit, but the real shit, the logistics, the back end, the supply chain, the customer service, the finances as well. This covers the whole spectrum, every part, 12 hours of video. If you're interested in scaling a brand, 0 to 1, actually turning your idea finally into a reality, then click the link below, go check out Learn Real Commerce course and let me know what you think. I'd be glad to have you in there. Let's fucking go. Right, we're back with the Midnight Pod, and the second, I was going to say the first ever YouTube we've had, but we've actually had a guy called Jordan Welch, who is pretty big in America. Just pull that mic in a bit closer.
Sorry, bro.
We've got Spencer Elmer, also known as Elmo Films, and we've just spent like the past 15 minutes probably going too deep on a bunch of shit that we normally get into about an hour into the pod. But yeah, I think it's been an interesting episode. We've met like once, maybe like 6-7 months ago, when you were saying I was like a different person, and for many ways and many reasons I probably was, physically and mentally. And then we have like mutual friends in Adam, etc., etc. And I feel like everyone knows everyone in London that does remotely similar sort of creative online shit.
Yeah, so it's a circle thing. Yeah,
and as I was saying as well, I'm trying to expand the pod outside just D2C e-com entrepreneurs, because that gets boring, but also doesn't get any fucking views to an extent. So it's a bit of both. So I'm interested to hear about your story, because I don't know you very well, but as always is the case with the pod, we spend 2 hours drinking wine and speaking to someone, you go away knowing them pretty well, which feels like the best benefit of the pod for me, really. So it's always interesting. I guess first question, as always, is just who are you, what do you do, and what's kind of the story up to this point, because you're only 22 now.
22, yeah.
Which makes me feel very fucking old.
I'll come off it, bro. Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like chronologically, how do you get started on the whole YouTube thing? I know you've got a bunch of shit going on, but we can go through the whole story.
Sweet. And Spencer Elmer, also known as Elmer Films online. 22 years old, moved to London. We'll get there, but probably like 5 years ago, something like that. Started off in Devon. Grew up in Devon. I was there till I was about 17. But I started making, it all started from Call of Duty.
Really?
It did. And FIFA. Pack openings.
Yeah.
Did you CSGO? You play CSGO?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started off gaming when I was like 15. It was like a big thing. Like I did all the whole like trick shotting thing. Were you into that?
Kind of.
Like the whole like Call of Duty
I used to watch
lifestyle.
it. Yeah.
I used to live and breathe it. It was like my thing, my shit. Sorry. And then I think I did daily uploads. So I must have been like year 9, year 10 by then. Daily uploads on YouTube for about a year and a half, and it was all like story times, like whilst playing Call of Duty, but I never show my face. I think I got to, I want to say 10,000 subscribers. I did a face reveal, and then that's when I started like getting more interested in the vlogging sort of stuff. People were like, oh, we want to see more of your life,
Yeah.
I must have been 16, 17. Growing up in Devon, everyone was just like, what is this kid doing, man? Still get it today, but that was kind of where the YouTube thing picked up. I started going to like meetups in like Birmingham and like Manchester, like meeting people.
VidCon and shit.
Yeah,
that sort of
but like the BTEC ones.
Yeah.
This is like before I got there. And then when I was 17, I did my first year at college. Realised that it was kind of one or the other. It was like taking over a little bit. I probably had like 100,000 subscribers at college on the YouTube stuff. It was like more vlogs, showing my life, but the whole message behind it was, I remember I was at college, I made a video that I was actually crying in, which is a weird one, but I was like, I don't know what's going on. I've been making content now for a few years. I'm gonna drop out of education and film the experience. And it was like, you can watch it if you want.
Yeah.
And then it kind of picked up from there. I met a few of my YouTube friends, like, don't know, do you know Touch the Light? Kami?
Maybe.
Millie? It's like my circle. So I met them through Twitter in like 2017. And then we all moved to London, when I was 17 years old. Moved to Bermondsey. And I think that's when YouTube became more of a platform for me to get creative off instead of just being a YouTuber. So I started a brand called OIR, which was all about leaving college, doing what you want to do, that sort of thing. And then now do music as well, which started when I was 18, fell into that accidentally as well. And then we worked on a brand called Collusion.
Yeah.
So that was a brand that we started when I was 17 with ASOS, which
sick.
is a different one as well. So yeah, it's kind of like YouTube, music, fashion, I'd say so.
So you dropped out at 17?
Dropped out at 17.
So you didn't finish like A-levels, all that shit?
So I knew I wasn't going to get through because I didn't revise, but I did write my coursework, and then I broke my ankle, and so I couldn't go to the exam basically, and they put me through on coursework, and I left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you moved to London. Like, is YouTube like paying you well at this point?
It was doing well back in the day. Yeah, it was good. It was a lot better then.
Really?
There wasn't as many
AdSense or what, or like brand deals and shit?
AdSense. It was more like you could definitely make a living off views back then for what I was getting. Now it's a bit different, but it was like the main thing that we did.
Yeah, because I had a YouTube channel, like I was just saying off camera before, when I was like 17 it would have been, and it was like One Direction music covers, which people can go and find. It's not linked on this channel, but it does still exist.
It will be somewhere, right?
It does still exist, yeah. And I went through a phase of wanting to, I don't know, be a YouTuber of some sort.
Did you sing?
Yeah, I did. I was never that good, but I was like decent.
Okay.
Now I can freestyle rap, but that's a whole other thing.
Really?
Like pretty well.
Okay,
maybe I'll do it afterwards.
Let's go.
But then I had like a travel vlog channel when I was like 21, which I'm glad I had, because it was just, I look back at that now, had like no views, but it's like 200 vlogs on there. And then obviously started the pod like 11 months ago, and now it feels like I actually have a relevant outlet that I can actually do consistently on YouTube. So it feels like it's almost like full circle. Even though I do not remotely consider myself a content creator or YouTuber.
I don't know, mate.
I guess I'm just a pink light podcaster at this point.
I'm here for it.
On the side.
I'm here for it. I'm a big fan.
But you actually made YouTube work, so.
For a little bit.
Do you think that was just consistency? Or was it like
I was an animal
what you were
back
doing?
at it. Like I had such an addictive personality, so I've got to be so careful with what I like put myself in.
Yeah.
But if I love something, I'll do it every day, to like mad degree. And I was uploading every day at school, like when I was doing my GCSEs, and I think the consistency was what built the loyalty. And then I felt like I had a nice click where I could be vulnerable with my audience, and it felt like refreshing. Do you know, the conversations in my comment section were meaningful. Yeah. Instead of it being like, yo, like, nice vid, bro. I mean,
is that because you were sharing like crying and stuff? And
you
being
could
like
say so. You actually could say so, yeah.
Yeah.
Like there was videos of me crying, bro. Like, and the thing is, I wasn't sat there like, I'm gonna cry, edit this video, and then post it, because people. It was like I don't know what was going through my head at the time, to be honest. But I think it created that vulnerability that I could kind of like. I was like, okay, I'll be that guy that can just be like, I feel shit today, but I'm just gonna talk about it. And I think my audience at the time were the same age as me. Hello. God.
He always does this. He intros to every guest.
Yeah, of course.
Has a little sniff.
It's the most attention I've had all. I've been here for like half an hour. You coming through? Oh shit. But yeah, I feel like that vulnerability was something that I felt I could connect with an audience. Like people would come up to me and they'd be like, I've dropped out of college, I'm now a photographer, and it was like decent conversation. But I think I definitely lost myself. I was probably like 19. The lifestyle took over. I thought it was the shit. Big ego. Lost a lot of friends. And I look back now, that was an important stage of my life. Because I've gone from Devon, this like seaside town, it's probably like 10,000 people in my town, to living in London, soaked up by the Mayfair club scene.
Yeah,
like 18 years old.
Been there.
Mate, it was bad. But at the same time, such a valuable lesson. Like,
is that because you started getting money and had followers, and then when you're young and that happens?
I never had attention in my life, bro. Like, I'd go to school, like, there wasn't many people like that would be like, whoa, at anything. I used to skateboard every day. Like, nothing was entertaining like that. Do you know what I mean? So I think for me to come from Devon, I just felt like I was the shit, bro. But it was insecurity. It definitely was.
Yeah.
I was away from home. I didn't know what I was doing. I was with other people that were in the same situation. So it was almost like a comfort blanket. We used to just go clubbing and just, do you know what I mean? Like, you get the bottles in and you want to show your mates at home that's still at college.
Yeah.
And now I'm doing something. But it's just a blur, bro. It's a blur. That 2 years, like, first 2 years I moved to London were a blur.
What, 17 to 19?
Yeah.
That is young.
It's young.
Yeah. I didn't move it till I was like 23.
It's probably a good decision.
But I spent like 3 years travelling prior to that, so yeah, different. But
completely different, but...
yeah, the Mayfair club scene can swallow anyone.
Oh, it does. And it's sad because I see people do it. And now... But you can't say anything. You can't say anything to these people. Like... But I guess it's just the industry that we're in, right? Get money quickly. What do I do with it?
Blow it on bottles that borderline scams.
Legit. And then, oh yeah, like girls, this, that and this. I don't know, man. It's a weird circle, like... But I don't regret it at all. You have to learn those weird lessons. Because you look and you're like, why am I going clubbing? Like, what, bro? Like, you're with a bunch of people that aren't talking to each other.
Yeah.
In a loud music setting.
So true. Even now,
what are you getting out of it? We could listen to music really loud right now, be the same experience.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
But you're paying £100, £1,000 for a table.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's weird.
It's a legal scam, in my opinion, in many ways.
A legal scam?
Yeah, like clubbing. Like, it's like people get paralytic, then have to put their card on a machine at the end of the night, and you don't really know what you're paying for.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But it makes a lot of money. I had Asher on the pod. He runs like Rain and a few others. So I'm not saying it's a scam, but it's a good business model.
As a business.
Yeah. It's
But for a loose 18
people get into it for the wrong reasons, I think, maybe. Right then, fellas, quick one. First official sponsor for the Midnight Pod, Triple Whale. If you want to track your ecom metrics properly, all your KPIs, all your dashboards, all your blended ROAS, all that good shit in an easy to understand dashboard, as well as proper post iOS 14 pixel tracking. Know your real numbers, because I didn't in the past and I got it very wrong. Know where to spend more money, know where to spend less money, all the shit that's going to drive your brand forward. It's what I use every day in my new brands, in the past brands. It's what all the guys on the pod running super successful businesses use as well, and it's what you should be using. TripleWhale.com. Go click the link below, check it out, and use my link. Support the fucking pod. Let's go, boys. So YouTube, did that? You said that you weren't as focused on that. Like, where was your time going? So you got YouTube, fashion, music. Like, in what order and which one came in next? So
it was before I moved to London. I got a email from ASOS that was like, I had no idea at the time. It was like an NDA. No idea what this project, but we want to interview you. And it was like 2,000 people. I was like, no idea. I remember I went out clubbing in my local town, Exeter, the night before. Woke up to this early, like so hungover, like violently hungover, 17-year-old. I was like, right, I'll do this interview. And they asked me bare questions about who's your favourite designer. And at the time I was just like into streetwear, like Pyrex. I was like, Virgil Abloh, like all this stuff. And then got this job, had to go to London every week. And it turned out we were building a brand. There was like 5 creatives with ASOS. And we made collusion from scratch. So that was my first like eye into the fashion world. Like as a 17-year-old, like being with people that, I don't know, there's loads of people from different walks of life, and I think that's what taught me the most experience, like getting to know people that have different experiences. They've come up differently to me, different lifestyle. It was the first time I was exposed to what London was really like. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? There was people from different areas, stuff that I've never experienced before. And it was like, I don't know, it was very interesting. But that was my first walk into the fashion world. And then I started my own brand. And then I moved to London.
Do you think if you had to pick one now,
Yeah.
Would you do YouTube or fashion? I know you're doing both, but you kind of ones you said like fading at this point. But we can get onto that. Point? Well, we can get onto that. We skipped like multiple years there.
Yeah,
but
I was gonna say. I love making content. I think the thing that gives me the most anxiety, and like the rest that comes with that, is the pressure of how you're perceived on YouTube. That's what's fucked me massively, like hugely. Like the pressure to not even deliver or like be positive, but it's such an invasive world to be in. Does that make sense? If you do something wrong, you can't
get cancelled.
Yeah, bro. But you can't. It's like work. You go 9 to 5, you shut the door, then you can be yourself.
Yeah.
Whatever. You go out in public in the club, and then you still be reminded of that situation because some girls just had a go at you for something you've done online. I think that's where my mind started being like, what am I doing? Like, it's a weird cycle. So I'd love the fashion stuff because it's something I'm passionate about, and I don't feel like I'm sacrificing my mental too much by doing it.
Yeah. When did YouTube peak, do you think?
For me?
Yeah.
It's COVID.
2020?
Before I got cancelled, yeah.
You got cancelled?
I did, yeah.
Do you want to speak about that? I didn't know that. I mean...
We'll brush over it, yeah, of course.
I mean, I'm trying to keep it chronological, but you just... Yeah.
We'll get onto it. But it was a very pinnacle part of my life, yeah. I'm glad it happened. It wasn't for something outrageous. I wasn't like ridiculous.
Yeah, I was like, fucking hell, am I going to open up a can of worms here?
Not at all, nah. It was more of like a relationship situation. It wasn't like I've done something mad.
Yeah.
But it was a big separation in audience.
And because that's in the public eye, yeah, fucking hell. I know what you mean.
It's rough.
Well, I guess I can imagine what you mean. I don't know what you mean because I've not been there, but yeah, like...
Terrifying, bro. Terrifying. Like just sat there powerless. We'll get into it, but it was a situation where I was involved in, but it wasn't like my doing massively. But I just kind of had to sit and face it and just be like, yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
It was rough though.
So you get to like 18 then, or 19, whichever one you want to call it. What does a day-to-day look like as a YouTuber? Because I feel like a lot of people, I probably used to wonder this, because at 19 I would have been in uni before I dropped out.
What does it look like?
Yeah, like, are you...
Wow.
Did you have a routine? Like, you working from home, I assume, like a lot of people?
Bro, I'll be honest with you.
Like, what was the setup? Or was it very like...
There was 3 of us, me, you met Ben Morris, you know Ben Morris, and Millie. We lived in a house together. And I'll be honest with you, wake up midday.
Proper line.
Hungover as well, most mornings. Get up, Uber Eats. We used to have like calls with management. Okay, so like this week you've got this brief with this campaign that you need to do. So if it was like a brand, we'd have like brand deals, go and shoot that. Or you'd be like, okay, let's film a content like video, like say there's 4 of us, we'll film like 4 videos as a collab. And that was done for the week. And then you go out and party. I'll be honest, bro. Yeah, there was no routine at all.
I think that was good. Because it sounds like...
It sounds fun, but it's...
Yeah.
Mentally,
especially to a lot of younger people.
That's not what you want to be doing.
That's the fucking dream. I guess it's kind of like uni though, in that way, apart from you just had money and you didn't have to go to uni. But like, that's what a lot of uni is, like just waiting around, going out, hangovers the whole time.
Yeah.
Which is probably why I didn't like a lot of uni. Ended up leaving, but...
Did you go uni?
Yeah, I dropped out twice though.
Twice?
Yeah, I dropped out, went back, dropped out again, then never went back. It was never for me.
No?
I like the social scene to an extent, but I think it's like it's a recipe for disaster in a modern world like uni. You put a lot of young broke people in a big area, make them all fucking drink and be away from like their old friends and shit. It makes you grow up, but yeah it's probably like a gateway drug to like depression and anxiety and like social media addiction in many ways.
Facts.
I don't know what the better answer is for young people, but it's not ideal.
Routine is goated.
Yeah. I
think that's the only thing that keeps me sane. But like back then, there was no routine. That's a lesson I had to learn the hard way. Like being depressed, bro. Like getting up. I used to love the gym, like when I was a bit younger. And then you move, you're drinking alcohol, you're ordering Mackies every night. You're ordering, you can't cook, do you know what I mean? Like Got a
He's
friend
chosen
now.
a side.
But yeah, mate, there was no routine. It just wasn't good, bro. Like, I'd go back to Devon to see my mum, and she'd be like, "You look awful." I've got a really good relationship with my mum, like best friend. She'd just be like, "You look awful," and I feel awful. Do you know what I mean? So it was a difficult time. Like, I can't lie, I was very blessed to be in that situation. I know I was, but I didn't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
At all. And I think that's come from just pressure. Like, feeling like, because I feel like every YouTuber, right, it's not a character that they play, but it's an extension of who they are. It's like a animated version of themselves.
Yeah.
When you're doing that 24/7, you don't know which one's which, right?
Yeah.
You kind of like, you don't know when to start acting like what. Especially like online, like you got a lot of eyes on you. I don't know. It was just a weird. Do you know, like they say, like trauma? It wasn't traumatic, but like, do you know, like traumatic parts of your life, like, are almost like meant to be like a bit blurry. That you just forget the ins and outs.
That's how I feel about a lot of last year.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't really remember.
But if someone says something like, "Oh, okay, yeah, I do remember that," but you don't dwell on it too much. It just kind of happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's what they introduced into the YouTube London lifestyle was like. It was rough, to be fair, and it was sad because I remember just feeling so. I think the pressure and the anxiety just took over a little bit. You joining the mic as well, yeah?
He needs to make a decision. Where's he going? Crazy dog.
And I'd post about it, bro. This is what we're on about. I was being vulnerable, but I wasn't in the right headspace. So people were like worried, bro. I just post all this weird like shit. I don't know. The thing is with me, right? My YouTube experience is probably very different to a lot of other YouTubers. You know, I just think I moved in with a bunch of YouTubers, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was insecure and I was anxious, and it kind of messed me up quite a bit, to be honest.
Do you think that came from being a YouTuber, or was that just, you know, you're a fucking young guy figuring it out like a lot of people, and people just knew about it because you were a YouTuber?
Yeah, I think it was that. I think I was already insecure about a lot of things, and then I amplified it myself by telling everybody. Like, as much as it's great to be vulnerable online, I just felt like, because I thought that was my brand, it just looked like a mess from the outside. I was figuring myself out, but I was sharing it.
Yeah.
See what I mean? And it's good.
It's kind of how I feel about this podcast.
But yeah,
way too honest about everything.
You're more calculated than I was, bro.
Maybe,
like, like very, like, yeah. I don't know, man. It was a scary headspace, but at the same time, as we were talking about earlier, the lessons that I learned, 18 to 19, will be like the primary ones that I carry with me for a very long time.
What do you think the main ones are?
It's more things about myself, to be honest. Like how I view myself, how I value I didn't value myself at all then. I was living life to entertain other people every day, every week. Because you think I was doing weekly vlogs most of the time.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, this week, how can I make this my life entertaining for other people? By the way, I'm talking about this as if it's like the worst thing in the world. It was great, man. But at the same time, the reality of it was I was living to impress and entertain people that were younger than me. And I think that's where mentally I kind of went a bit loopy. Because I was living for other people. So once you do that for 5-6 years in a row, 4 years, you forget to start living for yourself. What do I like to do? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I'm so caught up on what other people want to see me do. Do you know what I mean?
Were all your mates YouTubers at this point?
Yeah.
And were they all going through the same thing?
Behind the scenes they were, but I think their contact, they're like, where's this dog going, man?
This dog's about to ruin this podcast.
No, he's here. They did more like comedy content. So they couldn't just sit down and be like, yo, I feel like da-da-da-da-da. So they could hide it a lot more, I think.
Yeah.
But I was known as that like sad boy.
But I mean, do you think they were feeling the same things? Like,
definitely.
Oh fuck, I've got to put an act on. Oh, my entire life is trying to please other people because I've got an audience.
Yeah.
because I used to follow Joe Weller a lot, for example, and I know he publicly, I remember watching a video, I mean this is probably ages ago, but him like crying about the fact that he wasn't happy making the content that his audience liked and shit. Was there that sort of vibe for you?
Completely. The thing is with Joe, like I've always respected and rated him because I felt like I could relate to like his mindset with it. Because you watch that video, right? Nothing against the guy, but you watch that video and you do go a bit, fuck, like, is he okay? Is he okay? It doesn't make sense. But watching that video for me, I was like, mate, like, it makes complete sense. Because, mate, you just, I don't know, you feel like you have to get over an emotion that you're feeling, you feel like you have to express it to an audience first, to then get over it yourself. Like, I'd cry in a video, put it out and be like, cool, I'm over it. It's a weird mindset to be in, like, completely. But I think Joe's a great example of someone that's been through that mental health journey and he's done it in a great way. I just feel like I didn't handle it personally the best way. Yeah.
Do you think when you were like living in London, living that like Mayfair life, etc. Did you have people around you telling you like, oh, you know, be careful of this, don't do this, etc.? I mean, because obviously you've got a load of followers, people watching what you're doing, you're like building a career online, which is very, very, very different, particularly at that age. Like, did you even care about that? Like, what I'm trying to say is, did you have like a business approach to it, or were you just like a young guy and it seemed to be working, you fucking, there's money coming in and great, we'll figure it out?
Yeah, there was no strategy, bro. There was no strategy. It was like, wow, I've just made X amount by posting a picture of me and some sushi. It was that, like, bro, I was that level of like, just had no awareness about me. Like, I didn't know what was going on. Yeah, it was a scary, I don't know how to explain it.
Was there ever like a plan for, I want to grow my brand to this, for example?
I definitely had people around me.
Or was it more just living in as it was, like day by day, and we'll see what happens?
Yeah, it was day by day. I had some great people around me. Because at the time I still had the brand. I still had the OAR brand, which is my clothing brand, which I started when I dropped out. And I had some great people around me. They gave me some great advice and could have set it up easy for me. But I didn't listen to them.
Was that just...
It was an ego thing.
Yeah.
Because also, like, I wasn't aware of where this was going to go. I was so shocked that my dream had become reality that I was just living it.
Yeah.
With no consequences. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't a plan. I wasn't like, oh my God, I was aware that, okay, I need to get property, like, if I'm going to make this like a long term. Like, there was goals, but they were materialistic.
Yeah, I think about that a lot myself. When I was like 21, I dropped out of uni, I started making money from ecom, basically. And I look back now and think, fuck me. If someone had told me to invest that money instead of fucking buying cars, and again, I don't regret any of it, but, you know, coulda, woulda, shoulda, but it's kind of mad. You look back at how naive you were when you're a lot younger. And I think the exact same about my experiences, which may be similar but different. And yeah, that's just how life goes. You can't really have regrets, and you learn from it, and you can feel wise looking back. And yeah, it's just mad because I had no plan really either when I first started being able to work for myself. I was just like, oh, this is great. I'm fucking in Bali.
How long were you in that period though, where you were like, this is sick? How long were you in that mindset for, where it was like, oh my God, I've just made this much money, this is sick? Before going, okay, so what do I really want to do? Like, what was that like crazy
Probably
period?
like 2 years is when I was traveling full time before I moved to London.
Where'd you travel to?
A lot of like Southeast Asia, Australia, a lot of Europe, America, everywhere really. Yeah, it was mad. Looking back, to be fair, yeah, probably like the best years ever, but maybe didn't appreciate it at the time.
Did you feel good in that stage? Like good?
I think I felt a sense of wonder for the world, and I was like, wow, I can go anywhere.
Almost like an invincibility thing.
Yeah, and I was probably, I maybe had less, I probably thought less deeply about things and was just like living in the moment a bit more, which I wish I could do now more of. True. But it was also like maybe an element of ignorance is bliss, and I wasn't thinking about long-term things, and I don't know, everything felt, crazy really looking back. I mean, that's a period I've vlogged a lot of, which is quite cool because I can watch that shit. But yeah, I knew nothing really then compared to what I think I know now about the world and shit. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird because time flies. You look back at when you're younger and think, that was like, I mean, for me, that was like 4 years ago. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I felt like an instant.
It's too quick, bro. But do you think, do you feel like you learned a lot in that period because of how you acted now? Do you feel like if you didn't have that?
I mean, I definitely kept being a bit of an idiot a few years after that when I was living in London, but maybe an idiot in different ways.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah.
Gets the best of you, right?
I feel like my brain only fully formed like last year or something. They say your brain forms at age 25, which is maybe is true.
I'll get
but that. He's back again.
Yeah, man. Just chilling.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you definitely learn a lot. I think, yeah, access to experiences and things when you're younger maybe accelerates life lessons in a way.
Were you doing it for you, or were you doing it to impress people that you grew up with? That's just a question I'm interested in personally.
Yeah, I mean, because I think a lot of people thought I was a bit of a flexy / posy person on like Instagram and stuff, and I didn't have like a personal brand or anything. It was literally just like me, and well, on a very, very small scale maybe, because people were intrigued what I did, but I wasn't putting like authentic content out, for example, like the podcast, so people could jump to conclusions, for example, oh, this guy's only posting this because, I don't know, he wants to look a certain way, whereas actually for me, like, I was like buying those cars and shit, so when I was 10 years old I was passionate about cars, and obviously there's an element of maybe at the time I wanted girls to see it, which doesn't even help, by the way, you know, that's a
doesn't
myth.
change though, does it?
But yeah, I think because I wasn't putting out any content like, you know, like the podcast, people can make their own assumptions, and maybe people from school or whatever had negative assumptions about me and shit, and it's only in the past year when I started putting out more, I guess, articulate content around what I actually do and what I think, and speaking to other people about it, that I don't think you can really look at me that way. And I also don't really post the same sort of shit I used to, because I'm a bit more conscious of not trying to look like a dickhead in many ways. Yeah,
I think you do it well. Like, thank you. Do you feel like you had something to prove in that like era?
Yeah, definitely.
Come on, you got this. There you go.
Fucking hell, this dog's going crazy today. Apologies to anyone listening or watching.
Like something to prove. Like even, I think that's what fueled me a lot. I feel like I had something to prove to everybody.
Yeah, probably even like my own parents in a way. Because when I dropped out of uni, they were like, "Oh, you're an idiot," and I was like, "Well, I don't think I am," but you know. And maybe like flashing certain things is an opportunity to prove that. Whereas, now I don't feel the need to do that as much, even though I still like a lot of that stuff and always will. But
it's like a different sort of knowing in yourself, right?
Yeah, I think it's just like maturity. You realise that actually most of the stuff you put on the internet, you're probably doing deep down to impress people that you don't really care about. So now it's like I probably care about way less people's opinions, but I care more about maybe those people's opinions.
It's a great place to be in, though.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I feel like it's somewhere I'm going very slowly as well.
Yeah, because you said you want to be less known now.
Well, I wouldn't say less known. Oh, gotta be careful.
Is that what you said?
Yeah, no, to a certain extent. I think.
Or you care less about maybe like the number of subscribers? Is that it?
Yeah.
And more about the substance of what you're doing.
I'm so like, I feel like, as I said earlier, even though like back in the day, even at my peak, I was with people, my circle, I was the person that had the least subs.
Yeah.
By far. And I was like, that didn't really matter to me, genuinely. But I feel like now, regardless of the size of the channel, I was still making content for that younger audience. I never felt like I was truly, that's the one thing that doesn't break my heart, but like the one thing about my YouTube, you could say like career, if it was a career, like I never feel like I was truly able to get across what I wanted to and who I actually was.
Is that because you'd built an audience around stuff that you used to be interested in?
Yeah.
And you felt you had to keep doing that?
Yeah. Even to now, bro, like till last year, I'm still making the same content I was when I was 16. I don't want to sit, apart from podcasts, I love this vibe.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit do you know what I mean? I'm sat on my own. I don't want to talk about myself every week. when I'm 21, 22, I've got real things going on now. Like real, that I don't want to sit and talk about with other people that I don't know anymore. I feel like it was great because I could connect back in the day. But yeah, as I said, like, it's disheartening because I feel like I never got what I wanted to across properly because of the whole mixture we were just on about. Like, my head wasn't in the right place. It's a weird one. It's really hard to explain, if that makes sense.
What happened in 2020 then? So you said that's peak YouTube.
Peak YouTube, COVID.
That felt like peak ecom for me as well in many ways, because COVID came around and it was great for e-commerce and horrible for life in many ways. But
yeah,
how was that for you? So peak YouTube, but you say you got cancelled.
Yeah, man. Peak YouTube, it was great. But at the same time, like, I still felt like I didn't know what was going on. Like you just said, the past year you found that you finally like came into yourself. You like found your feet. You felt like, right?
Still working it out, but yeah, a little bit.
Oh, of course, it's a journey, bro. But I feel like looking back now, I was just doing it to tick over. But it was peak, if you want to think like numbers wise. That was a great peak. You could upload during COVID like 2-3 times a week. And I was seeing numbers and even like revenue off YouTube I've never seen before. And then this situation happened with a girl that I used to date. There's a lot more. The reason why I won't speak on it is because there's loads behind the scenes that I would never ever share.
Was she a YouTuber as well?
She was, yeah. I'm not going into names, just to let you know.
Right.
But it was a decision that, I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. If like people are listening and they know exactly the situation, it's a difficult one. Because there's stuff that went on behind the scenes that people would understand where I was coming from by what happened. But I can't share that, it's too much. Because also as a girl, right? If you're in a relationship online, you can't as a guy beef a girl. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You can't, bro. You can't. Like, and also why would you want to? Like, I feel like I got caught up in a crowd that had my best intentions at heart at the time, but a video was released of me and said person. And then that person went on a podcast and said that I sat and did this and released this video on my own. The video wasn't bad, but it was just more the context of us two being together. And then...
Yeah, that must be crazy, actually. Because relationships are fucking hard anyway. Let alone if they're aired online and potentially with the wrong side.
But it was a big mistake from my part. I should have been more like aware that the damage that this video could do. It wasn't a bad video, it was just a video of us two, but like the damage of that being released, what that would mean. And I think that said person went on a podcast and spoke about it in a way that, I don't know, like fair play, but it was, how do I explain it? She went on and said that I've done this out of spite, da 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 da. I remember waking up in Devon with my mum, bro. I'm talking like 200-300 DMs that morning.
Well, like hateful DMs.
Oh, bro, yeah. Mum's address. Everything, bro. And that was like what we were talking about earlier, that I feel like that for me was, I remember I was sat in Devon with my mum, right? My mum's seeing this as well. It's horrifying, bro. Like, I explained to her that like everybody's gonna like know about this, because the girl was quite big at what she does, right? So there's no hiding from it. I'm talking like school friends, industry friends, people, and everybody is gonna look at me differently now. And it's my own do you know what I mean? I just kind of had to sit there with thousands and thousands of comments. I think I lost 20k on Insta over like a week. So many subscribers, people that actually like, that's what I mean. So I've gone from being this vulnerable character that's tried to be honest with everybody, got lost in the sauce a little bit, and that one time it's just ruined my whole credibility. But my intentions in that situation wasn't to hurt anybody. It's a complicated one.
Yeah, that's mad actually, because I can relate to that in what happened with me with this neon brand. I mean, it's different, but I went from being an unknown founder to when that went tits up, I had the Daily Mail at my door.
At the door?
That's how bad it got.
Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I mean, I shared a bit of this on episode 1 of the pod, but I mean, it's long gone now. But yeah, long story short, you know, like 2 million quid's worth of orders disappeared. That was not my fault, and I got the blame, and everyone thought I was a scam artist because I had a was driving a Ferrari, and there's a Facebook group dedicated to where my parents live, pictures of my mum. And I remember my mum calling me crying, saying, what the fuck's going on? And that was the worst thing, because I was like, firstly, you now probably think that I've done something wrong, when I hadn't at all.
You got to convince everybody that you're...
So it was a combination of the business going tits up, but then actually my reputation being on the line, and like people from school probably thinking, oh, this guy's a fraud. And I was like suicidal about it, genuinely.
But facts.
And it was horrendous. And I wasn't even used to him being in the public eye. I'd never had any hateful DM ever. Like,
and now
nothing.
It's like you're that guy.
There was a website dedicated to like me, and it was like pictures of me from school and shit.
How did you feel?
There's some creeps out there, and that was the first time I realised how big scale that business had got, and it still exists now, and everything got fixed, and whatever. It's just a long process, and it's probably the same for you in a way. Like it's numbers on a screen, like subscribers, views, whatever. For me, it was like revenue numbers, customers. And you don't really realise, in many ways, I didn't realise naively, I didn't think about them as being real people until it went tits up. And then there was a lot of real people that wanted me to answer to them.
Yeah.
So that was a horrendous time.
When you say, because this is going to get deep regardless, like this is a mad topic in general. Because I don't think I think people should be cancelled if they've stepped out of line. They've done something that you can't come back from. But cancel culture is tapped. Like, people want you gone, even if you're doing well.
Yeah, I think particularly in the UK, it's like tall poppy syndrome.
Mate, it's hot. It's actually vile. Like,
people...
You said you were suicidal, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, literally. Like, that's how bad it got. I mean, I've always struggled with my mental health anyway.
Same, yeah.
I've been way too honest about that, arguably, on the pod, but it just is what it is. I think a lot of entrepreneurial and creative people are maybe more susceptible by default to ups and downs mentally, emotionally. I certainly am. I always flippantly say that my mind is my greatest gift but biggest curse, because it allows me to think a lot and be creative and come up with, build businesses, whatever. But also, I'm then, the architect of my own fucking problems that maybe don't even exist half the time. Like we were saying before, like I'll create situations that don't exist because that's just the way my mind works. And but I can also create things that didn't exist, which can be great.
And look at this.
Do you know what I mean? So
I hear that a lot, and I think it's like you said, it's a blessing and a curse. Like, as much as that situation that you spoke about, the situation I spoke about, without that, we wouldn't have the product and the lifestyle and the amazing things we've like been able to experience.
Yeah.
But when that moment comes, bro, it's rock bottom, like actual rock bottom. Do you know what I mean?
That's absolutely how I felt. Yeah.
Like, mentally, you're sat there and you're like, especially in this situation I just explained, like, I know I was guilty, but I wasn't as guilty as made out to be. I think that's the best way to explain it. So I'm sat there, bro, like, crying my fucking eyes out, to be honest. Just sat at the beach just with my mum, mate. Like, embarrassing moment. Because you feel mortified. You feel like you've got to explain yourself to everybody, right? It's what you're on about just then. You feel like you've got to explain. I made videos, bro, of me sat there, like, trying to, like, fight it. Never uploaded it. Can't fight it, bro.
That's why I did the first podcast.
Really?
Like, ultimately, it was when the dust had settled, I just wanted to speak about what happened.
Do you feel like it was a great outlet for you, mentally?
And I was really scared to put that up because I'd never really put content up, particularly that sort of type. But then actually, I had like 1,000 messages saying, wow, that was like the most powerful thing I've ever listened to. Because I've gone through something on, loads of people go through shit on smaller scale, different scale, whatever. But most people don't share it. And I think that's the biggest problem in social media. And it's maybe starting to change because people are seeing through the bullshit, but
I like to think
life isn't all rainbows.
Mate, it's not.
But the problem with like marketing and building a personal brand or brand in general is like, by default, you want to share your best side. Of course you do. Like, I don't post pictures of me fucking feeling shit on Instagram. Maybe I should, but we all post our best version, our highlight.
Yeah.
But it's pretty damaging if people never share the other side.
But you can get caught up in that too. Like you said, it's a balance. Like,
yeah,
it's good to show that you can be vulnerable, but it's difficult, bro. It's difficult. Like, it's difficult to be like, I'm not good, bro. Especially online. Like, because obviously we both have different circles, but our network is our net worth, right?
Yeah.
So like, that when you're sharing it, these important people or this people is going to see it and it's going to it's a hard battle, but I feel like what I've learned from this situation, being vulnerable, like you said, that first podcast, people will respect that, the honest version of yourself, 10 times more than this animated character that you're meant to be seen as. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's the most important thing. Like, yeah, you go on social media for ages, like the topic's huge when it comes to mental health and like comparisons and like all these different things. But yeah, man, it's heavy. Where do you feel like, for you, like we were talking about, okay, so the last year you feel like, obviously, can we talk about the situation we were on about?
Yeah. I'm going to get cancelled by my own viewers for speaking about this again, but go on.
Okay, we'll brush past it. But do you feel like, did you share much of that online, firstly?
I have on the pod, yeah.
Really?
Not on like Instagram or anything.
Okay. Do you feel like that was really, like, when did you realise you were like coming into yourself? Because it's still a journey, like we said, but like, when did you go, okay, like, now I've been through this and this and this has like shaped me to like...
Well, yeah, in a nutshell, I feel like from like the age of like 20 to like 24, things felt like they almost went perfectly for me in every single way. Okay. Like I felt like I had everything. Like I was making loads of money. I had access to go where I wanted, you know, living in my dream place at the time. Had really good friends, all this sort of shit. And I was probably a bit of an arrogant cunt. I think like peak 2020.
Was that your like...
I had more money coming in than ever. Like, yeah, just, yeah. I mean, maybe just like still working really hard. And it was, you know, I built it myself, but yeah, looking back now, I was probably a bit naive on certain things. And then, yeah, went through like my first big L, I guess, at scale.
It felt like an L at the time.
Yeah, now in many ways I feel like it's kind of like a blessing in disguise, which took a long time to view it that way. But yeah, and then like a few things changed in my personal life and all that sort of shit, and then I think that was like the perfect time to get into a better place again, which I definitely have over like the last 9 months, like massively. Like, I mean, you said it, and we'd only met once, but like a lot of other people, my own mates have said, fucking hell, like I didn't even recognise you from a year ago. Yeah,
I met you 9 months ago. We met at a roast.
Yeah.
And I think you showed me, I was like, oh, what'd you do? We were just chatting, having roast dinner.
Yeah, I was in a very different headspace then, because I felt like I was a nobody again, because my confidence had just gone so much. I could tell you, but yeah. Even though I'd done loads of cool shit, and I was still, you know, statistically still very successful for like my age and stuff, it was just the knock-on effects of like what happened in the previous year, basically 2021, like the start of 2021, and then following on from that, like my fucking relationship breaking down and shit. At that time, though, it's just a lot of things at once. Yeah. But I can tell there's a different energy with you now, the way you hold yourself. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, like, and I think I'm about to earn like self-respect again by proving that I can get up and fucking. Yeah, I think the hardest thing in life is like losing momentum and then getting knocked and then having to like build back up again and facing that. And being, I think it's the acceptance, that moment when you realise like you have to face whatever you got, whether it's a breakup from your ex, or it's a business gone wrong, or you've been called this online. Like, there's a moment where you go, where you sit with it, you face it, and you go, like, this could eat me up, or I can change everything. Yeah, that's exactly. And then it's after that, like, other side of that, that you kind of come into yourself a little bit more, maybe. Yeah, I think it gives you character. Like, definitely does. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I almost don't trust people that have like say they've like never been through like bad shit, because they've either been like, what's the term? Like, they haven't been exposed to any like real life, or they're just lying, because it's like you nothing's enjoyable if you enjoy everything, right? And like you can't have like good times without bad times and shit. But it's so true. Yin and yang sort of shit. Yeah. And like, granted, I don't want to have as bad times as that, but there's always ups and downs. Like even now, of course, and as there is for everyone. But I think, as you said, like
people that haven't been through something and there's no depth there, it's quite terrifying, right?
Yeah.
Like, because I feel like even those people that haven't experienced anything, they've had to really like sit and face or go through it. There will be a time. You can't hide from those emotions, like, in general. But when it does hit you, that even friends I've seen, like, I don't know if it's the same with you, I feel like, for me personally, my, like, big reality check was previous to YouTube, during YouTube as well. Like, but as you said, it builds character. And you kind of, I think, understanding yourself a lot more through trauma is a great thing. Sounds really tap to say. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I feel like without the things that we've had to face, maybe us two, past 2 years, if that didn't happen, I'll still be in a position that I was beforehand, just ticking along.
Yeah.
Just acting like everything's great.
How do you think you reacted to that then? Did you change a lot? As in like that, you go from, as you like said, peak YouTube time to then getting cancelled. Like, did that like change like the views you were getting? Did that like change the business of YouTube for you?
Everything.
And then
every angle.
Yeah.
It wasn't just views, relevance, it was like money. It was everything. It was, but even like personally, bro, like it was the biggest reality check I've ever had.
Yeah.
Because I'm not saying like, oh, everything's ticking along, like this could last forever. It was like, now like this is disposable. Like you can disappear tomorrow if you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt that.
Do you know what I mean? It's like looking over the cliff moment. You're like, nah, this is terrifying. And I think you start questioning a lot more. You're not naive to these things anymore. Instead of like, when that situation happened, I was like, oh yeah, like, yeah, that video can go on, like, whatever, like, da-da-da. You start realizing, like, these things have consequences. You, like, see everything for what it is a little bit more. It's terrifying, bro. Terrifying. Like, and as you said, when it involves your family...
Yeah. It gets scary.
Bro, it's scary times. It's a scary time because it's also, like, I don't know, the internet's a scary place. And it's all good making money from it. It's, you know, it's a blessing. But...
Yeah, I was listening to, it was a podcast with Stephen Bartlett and the Coinbase guy or something, and he was talking about the concept, well, not the concept, but just talking about, you know, if you have 1 million people seeing something, you know, whatever it is, business, YouTube, you only need 1% of those people to be like a bit crazy, and then that's like 10,000 people. Then you need 1% of those 10,000 to be like an actual psychopath, and then you have 100 psychopaths, and they're probably the people that, you know, make the fucking Facebook page or send you your mum's address and all this sort of shit.
Terrifying.
So it's like, that is the scary thing about the internet.
Yeah. And
especially at scale.
It's human nature though, right? Like, you get 1,000 great comments and 10 bad ones, but you're going to remember the bad ones and forget the good ones.
Yeah.
Just the way it works. Like, we find comfort, right, we find comfort in being sad. It's comfy, right? When those things happen, like, those big situations, you want to sit and you want to cry and you want to be that, like, why is this happening to me? It's comfy. Eat bare junk food.
Yeah.
Disappear, do you know what I mean? And just, it's easy. But I think the hardest part, but it's the most rewarding part, is that we've been talking about. It's just like facing that and just like, how can I overcome it? What would that look like? Like, we spoke about running earlier. That, like we said about in the lift, running was like my biggest fear. I was a big kid, do you know what I mean? So like, the fact of even seeing myself run was like a weird fact.
Yeah.
And I think even like same thing, like other side of fear, such a beautiful thing, like rewarding as well. And I think getting past that like first bit, same with the cancel stuff, you just gotta balls it, man. Come back from it, sort of thing.
How did you pivot then after all that?
Well, after the 2020 situation?
Yeah, I mean, well, I guess not necessarily pivot, but like, what did you change to like get on with stuff? Because you mentioned YouTube became less, or has become less of a priority. Yeah. Was it after that?
It was after that, yeah. It wasn't it was just like I sat with it for a month. My management were amazing, bro. Like, facts. They were like, no, like, okay, what would do? My management would goated, to be completely honest. I'm still with them now. Big up Gemflow. they were just like, right, okay, so what do you want to do? Like, what do you actually want to do? I was like, cool. I'm passionate about fashion, the music stuff, da-da-da-da. They're like, right, okay, so we're going to position your content in this way. And it kind of felt like I was maturing, finally. Instead of like making content for 16-year-olds when I'm 21 years old, it felt like I could be myself. And I could be like, post what I wanted to, but still connect with the same audience. But without that, bro, I don't know what I could be doing, to be honest. Yeah. But I think since then, the people that have kind of like stuck with it get it, and I'm thankful for that. But yeah, that was the pivot for me. Like, management was a big help. But I think even personally, meditation was a big thing. Facing these things, like, it's like a proper journey. Like, okay, like, as we spoke about earlier, I spent my whole life doing this. Then I got cancelled. I can step back now and be like, okay, but what do I want to do? How do I make myself feel better? Do you know what I mean? So I think since that moment, the past 2 years have been, what do I like doing? How do I feel good again? And like, what do I actually want to be doing and share with the internet? And it's been like a 180 moment. What about yourself? After that situation that I saw you in at that roast dinner, because you had the Space Good website, I remember that.
Yeah, I started working on that.
But like, what was the moment where you're like, you felt it the most, and then you decided to make the change?
Oh, probably like November 2021.
Okay.
Because that was like, yeah, I actually filmed a video of myself just being like, oh, fuck this. Because I was living by myself. My ex-girlfriend had moved out, which was my doing. Right decision, but still rough. And I wasn't actually working on anything for the first time in ages. I had like a blank slate. And like, I didn't have to work, and I didn't have to like go and get a job or anything. It wasn't like that bad. But yeah, I was like, I don't have any goal right now, really. So I had to like figure out what the next thing was. And that's partly why I started the pod on the side. And then I started like building that sort of in public with the new brand. And then I gradually got into running and shit. Because I was like half-assed in the gym. Because I used to be really in great shape for like years. I used to do rowing for like 9 years. And then I just lost all that, partly because of my previous relationship and just shit that was going on there. But yeah, just started getting momentum again. And I was like, all right, pod, new business, get in good shape.
Do you think fitness is a big thing that like helped? Especially when you spoke about confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, it's like meditation for me. And I don't know why I like slacked on it a lot in previous years through COVID, because looking back I was like a bit chubby. I was never like fat, but looking back now I was like, fucking hell, I look a lot better now. And then yeah, I just got addicted to it. Like running was the new thing, because I never used to be into that. I was like, oh, I'm not a runner. I'm not naturally a runner.
It's a terrifying thought, bro, isn't it?
It used to just hurt my legs, hurt my knees.
Huh?
It used to just really hurt. And then I was like, oh, this is like meditation, because I tried meditating before and trying to be more mindful and shit, but then I've always liked like heavy exercise and like really pushing myself. And then I started to just look a lot better and feel a lot better. And yeah, I think it's just discipline. It's like with anything, it gives you a tangible goal that you can see like quick results in, particularly running, I think, rather than just going to the gym and lifting weights. And you don't have to spend money on it. You don't have to, do you know what I mean? Anyone can do it. Exactly. Bro, exactly. So there's no excuse, and you can do it anywhere. So now I'm a bit of a running addict. I don't know how long this will last after I've done this marathon, but
sick, by the way. Congrats. That's sick.
Yeah. So I started to anything I do, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to try and be really good at it. So,
but it's applying that same mindset that you've learned from the business stuff to fitness, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Constantly pushing that, like you said, there's no excuse. Do it, like send it. But I think it's that after period, like when you've completed that task that 6 months ago. Like 5k run for me, bro, it was a myth. Yeah. Do you know everyone's doing that in COVID?
Yeah.
I was too scared to even go, bro. Just leave the house to do a 5k. Because I knew mentally, I was like, you can't do that. I never tried it.
Yeah.
But now, like last week, I'll still run 5k, but we'll do it like 4 or 5 times a week.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'll look back and be like, mate, a year ago, that was the most terrifying thought in my head. But I didn't find it difficult the first time I did it. It's that mental thing, I think. And that now comes out in business, and it comes out in these other things. I think it's the primary like lesson that I have to practice every day that makes everything easier for me. Do you know what I mean? Like that self-reflection thing. And like you said about the way you look at yourself, like running, if you feel like, I don't know, you're starting to look better or whatever, however you want to label it, that confidence, it's like, it's the best feeling, bro.
Yeah, so especially when you earn it.
Because you have to earn it.
The thing about being in shape is you can't buy it.
Can't buy it.
You just have to grind and be consistent. And then I read David Goggins' book, Can't Hurt Me, which is probably the best book I've ever read.
I need to read that. I love him though.
I like it, just like it was so powerful. I'm not much of a reader. I really wish I was more. But just something about it just resonated with me. I was like, wow.
He's a savage, bro.
Yeah, like just the fact he's, because I'm definitely like driven more by like negative emotions, like almost like fuck you, like I'll do it sort of thing.
I love that.
I've always been driven in from that sort of I don't know where it comes from. Maybe that's really bad, but Goggins is a lot like that. So I see a lot of my mindset in that.
But that's amazing because it's like, you know that anything you face now, you can change that around. Do you know what I mean? You can use that, oh, I feel shit. This has happened. Da, 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 da. You can use that emotion to improve yourself and feel better. And that's a technique that I wish I could have learned during this first period of like going through all the bullshit and like having to, I didn't know that could be a thing. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. What the fuck is this? Space Goods, spacegoods.com, Rainbow Dust version 1, my newest entrepreneurial ecom brand venture. I spent 6 months in the trenches building this shit from scratch. We launched 6 weeks ago. What's it all about? The next generation wellness brand with a long-term vision to essentially consumerize the pending psychedelic consumer goods market, which might sound absolutely ridiculous. We're not quite there yet. The market's massively illegal. But what is this? Rainbow Dust version 1 is an all-in-one mushroom and adaptogenic blend designed to unlock your supernatural self. Essentially, experience a sharper focus, sustained energy, zen-like calm throughout the day. It's an all-in-one powder, tastes like fucking hot chocolate, tastes delicious, works great, looks great, feels amazing. Essentially, the broader concept here was to legally imitate a psychedelic microdose, and like I said, experience those symptoms. You can mix it with anything, brownies, bake brownies with it, mix it with your coffee, have it without coffee, replace your coffee, put it into a protein shake. It's super fucking versatile, it tastes great, it replaced the stack of supplements I was previously taking, but you need to try this shit. It would definitely change the way you work, get you into that deep workflow. I obviously think that myself. Plenty of 1,000+ first customers think the exact same shit. It's not just a pretty packaging, it actually works really fucking well. Keto, vegan, all that good shit. Trust me, you need to try it for yourself. Let's scale this shit to the moon. Spacegoods.com. Get on your Rainbow Dust subscription and see how you fucking feel. Let's do it for the boys. Spacegoods.com. Right, I want to bring it back to you because I feel like I'm fucking butting in way too much and trying to be philosophical.
I'm enjoying it though, but yeah.
How does the day-to-day of a YouTuber / musician / fashion entrepreneur look like now then?
Very different, very different. So yeah, like the music thing in itself. Which you want to start with that? Actually, day-to-day, right? So at the moment, I got a model agency in London that it's just like a side job thing. So doing a bit of modeling here and there, still working on the fashion brand. So there's those two are big things at the moment. They bring me the most happiness, I'd say. Writing music, it's a great outlet. And then there's the fashion thing. But at the moment, it's like wake up, run. That's like my mindset the past month. It's like train, first thing. I feel like everything else after that feels a lot easier if you have that like difficult 30 minutes in the morning. And it's split between going to the studio, maybe I've got a shoot or a test shoot. It's a juggling act at the moment, making sure I'm still uploading. I haven't done great over the past 2 weeks, but keeping the YouTube ticking. Like, I'm just being more honest again. Like we're speaking about, I've got a video going out next week that talks about basically what we've been talking about. Just like, I'm going back to just making content I want to do. Less stress, film what my life actually looks like now. Yeah. So, yeah, it's split between those three. So I'll either be in Birmingham, which is like where the main studio is, where we record our music. And then there's the fashion stuff, which is more like meetings, and we have an office in London I go and visit. And then apart from that, it's like TikTok. So like making TikTok videos and just like, that's a whole nother world. That's, I don't know if you're too like on that.
I really should be. I deleted TikTok off my phone. I mean, I'm trying to do it for the brand now. Obviously, you're doing some stuff with Finn and the other guys for Space Goods recently.
Love that.
So we'll see how that comes out, because I'm starting to feel like I'm too old to like natively understand TikTok's the first platform I felt that way. Like Instagram was always my go-to with like previous businesses and stuff, and it still is in terms of like Instagram ads and all that, but TikTok's the new kid on the block.
It is, and it's ruined like, everything else.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But yeah, so it's just split between those, bro. Meditate every day. I say every day, every other day. It's a great balancer.
I've tried starting that many times. I try and do it in the sauna. I go to the sauna like every day. It's
good in the sauna, but bro, before you go to bed, 10-minute meditation, 10-minute guided meditation. You put your earphones in, you just lay there. You don't have to do anything, you just listen. And I think it makes everything feel smoother. That voice in your head isn't so loud throughout the day. So I think that's really important. I like to say I do it every day, but there is days that I don't, and you feel it. But yeah, it's kind of like I'm trying to do that self-progress thing. Invest time in myself now. Do you know what I mean? Like I said, I want to pick your brains on the e-com world, because I feel like I have this. I've been on socials now for probably like 7 years. I understand like the whole like algorithm side to that.
Yeah.
But because I don't want to be so like active, like personally with it, I want to try and learn how to use the algorithm to do product stuff instead of myself. So yeah, just like
to build brands off the back of your personal brand rather than focus on yourself.
Yeah,
I think that's what a lot of influencers, YouTubers I see kind of pivoting, which is obviously where businesses like Genflow have come in to help creators build businesses.
And they're great at it, to be fair, which is good. But yeah, I think as we were just speaking about like, what do I want to do? Like what makes me feel good? I'm still working it out. I've still got a long way to go. But
I'm still working it out. It's
a beautiful thing, like getting one step closer every single day and just feeling like, okay, so like, I really enjoyed this today. This made me feel great. I think gratitude's a big thing as well. Like try and practice every day, because without it, it's, I don't know, scary. But I think that's like, I've just like word vomited. That's what my week looks like.
Yeah.
Apart from seeing friends, and I'm quite lucky. Like my friends, probably like yours, like your econ friends.
Yeah,
they're like your only mates that get it. You got mates from home that you can go back, but the conversation is different, and that's valuable as well, because you need people around you that you're just gonna laugh with.
Yeah, very true.
But yeah, like hanging out with people that get the struggle of running a business, and this isn't do you know what I mean?
The constant ecom anxiety of things going up and down, up and down.
It's an anxiety thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's just like I'm currently in that like progressive period for myself at the moment.
Do you know where you want to be in like 5 years?
Or
do you think that far ahead?
I'd like to try to. Property is something that it was always like, oh, you need to get property, you need to do this, YouTube's not gonna last forever. I'm like, oh god, okay. I don't know if it's like as valuable thing now, but it's definitely something I want to get into. I feel like a lot of my friends are now getting onto that property thing, and got my first property the other day, which was cool.
Yeah, I saw that. Nice one.
So it's like, okay, so I'm just trying to lay some foundations down to like make the next 5 years smoother. Because I think the worry of the fluctuation of being online and that being a business is terrifying. Probably like econ.
Yeah.
Like your mood is literally the same as your fucking
Jesus Christ. It's very, very, very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the ride you sign up for, I guess, when you're an entrepreneur, whether that's, creating content, creating brands, whatever it is, or both. And yeah, it can be very rewarding, but also very stressful. But I'd rather do that than sell my soul to the man and, do it for someone else.
Exactly.
Because I can never do that.
Because the stories and like the value, like, bro, like nothing beats it, right? I think for people our age, like the things we've experienced, like, I don't know, like my parents have never experienced some of the things that I've managed to be so lucky to see live. I don't know about yourself, like,
Yeah.
it's crazy. But then the next 5 years is also like, do I want to go back to, I used to work in a pub like for like 3 years. That's a big fear for me. It's like going back to the cancellation thing.
That's interesting, actually. So, because some people have said this on the pod as well, and they've said, like, I don't know if that's what you were meaning, but like they're driven by worried that it will all go away and they'll have to go back and get, you know, a normal job or whatever it is. I've never even worried about that, even when shit was actually going wrong.
Because I watched your pod today. You used to work at Waitrose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
What was that like?
Shit. But I had loads of shit jobs.
Were you thinking, because this is what I did when I used to work every single day. I think about what I'd want to be doing. When you're at Waitrose doing your stacking the shelves, were you thinking about the life that you want to live?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing about gratitude, and like sometimes you need to get perspective on how far you've come, which is very easy to lose. Yeah. And gets very
normal.
Yeah, like, because I mean, I just had a normal upbringing, like went to state school, middle class family, but probably like most people statistically. Yeah, the last job I ever had was when I was in uni working in a burger bar, and I used to run Facebook ads on my break with my £50 savings, and then the rest is history. But yeah,
that's sick.
I guess you don't realise how far you've come until you look back, and it's obviously cliche and whatever, but it's quite powerful. I think particularly when you're like self-made and shit and weren't born into whatever, which most people are, as in most people are self-made generally.
But it's always a complete cycle. I feel like the cycle, this is what we were speaking about before the cameras went on, the Ferrari story.
Oh yeah.
Because I said to you, I was like, because I like I said earlier, I was always, I want to get that car, I want to get that watch when I finally buy the house. I said this to my boy the other day. He was like, you're 22, you just bought a flat. How's it feel? I dreamt of this moment for 5 years. It doesn't feel like it's real. I'm like, what's next? So it's like, when you bought that car, did you have a dream of what that moment would be like when you were doing the whole Waitrose thing? And then it got set, what was the difference like? And I'm sure people at home as well were like, what's it like to buy a Ferrari?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like cars were always my thing when I was younger, but I had nice cars before that. Like, you know, I didn't go from no car to a Ferrari. So yeah. I guess in that sense, it wasn't so sudden. Like I'd had an AMG Mercedes before, I had an M4 BMW, then I had an Audi R8 twice, I had a Range Rover, all this shit. I had loads of shit. And then I got a fucking Ferrari, which is probably the most silly one. But that was, yeah, I said this before, I think I probably got more joy from buying a Mini when I was 20. That was like $2,000 or something. I remember it, than buying that fucking Ferrari, because at that point, and this is like the dangerous thing about achieving goals in a way, particularly material ones, because they're very fleeting, is that the bar gets higher and higher, and then your standard for any form of satisfaction can be dangerously high.
Scary.
And like I was in Mykonos the other week, and I made I'm doing this like weekly documenting building this brand. It's kind of like a vlog, I guess it is a vlog. And I actually was in a really weird headspace. So I was in Soho House in Mykonos, this beautiful place. It's a fucking Tuesday morning. I'm sat on my laptop working. I don't have to be anywhere. No, I've got plenty of money to do this for however long. And I just wasn't happy. Like honestly, I was a bit like, it's kind of a really weird feeling, because I hadn't felt like that when I'd been in such a beautiful place before. I was like, what's going on here? Like, I wasn't necessarily unhappy, but I was just like, why am I not enjoying this that much?
Nothing filled the hole, right?
Yeah, and I started to, I think I said in the video, like, it's because I'd maybe got so used to just going away and like being able to, but you know, and it's a bit scary, because then it's like, oh fuck, if the things that you used to want to do can't even give you joy, then what does give you joy? And like I'm kind of trying to figure that out, because I don't know, it's kind of worrying. Like there's obviously levels to everything.
It's part of the journey, right? Like
there's obviously levels to everything, but yeah,
the goals change, right?
Yeah, I think my goals are less physically tangible now. I mean, or certainly less materialistic. Like my financial goals are probably bigger than they were before, but it's for different reasons. It's more for like, oh, so I can look after my future family, or you know, my parents, rather than buy a fucking watch and a silly car so I can look cool.
Yeah, I rate that though, and I think it's very important, like, because as much as we talk about this, because your materialistic goals that you've achieved are very different to mine, right? Very different scale. But I feel like you can never teach that.
Yeah, I think you have to go through that.
Yeah.
Everyone has to go through. Yeah.
Because it's all well, and it comes back to that whole like searching for validation from other people all the time. Like, okay, like this, like even the whole ego desire thing, like this thing I've got tattooed on my arm is like.
I'm thinking about getting a first tattoo now.
Do it, bro. But
because I've finally got to the age where I feel like I could make a considered choice, whereas in the past my taste would change too much on cars, let alone fucking tattoos.
Let alone tattoos, yeah.
So that's why I never got one.
I hear that.
There's so many people have said to me, you look like the sort of person that would have 20 tattoos, because I'm quite a loose cunt, and I don't know, but I just never have.
If there's real meaning behind the tattoo,
because you have loads.
Yeah, so the things on my arms have been like either moments or big things in my life. Obviously, there's an eggy bread there.
I didn't spot that.
To you,
one.
it's like, lol, that's jokes. But to me, that has like a really, like, it's a significant meaning. It sounds weird. But like, my leg shit, like, it's all jokes. Like, it's my mate's brand logo. Like, it's my mate's merch logo.
Yeah. That's
my friend that lives in Dubai at the moment. Just like jokes, little things in Comic Sans. But like, arms-wise, it needs to make sense, bro. If it's something you really can't forget, you won't regret it. Do it, but just to let you know, you get one and then you look like me in like a year.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it's cool, man. Like, it's
I don't know where I'd get it. Maybe like the inside of my arm or something. Fucking so cliche, like Jay Alvarez or some bullshit.
Do some Jay Alvarez shit. The thing is like, I'm at this point now where I need to keep going, otherwise it's gonna look weird. Because I take my t-shirt off, I look like I've just got drawings on my arm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, oh god, it's a downward spiral. But tattoos are cool.
Yeah.
If you know what you're getting. Like, you can't. My mum used to say to me, I actually did it, not maybe for a year. She said, draw something out that you really want to get, put it on the fridge for a year. If you still want it in a year.
Is that what you've done?
Nah, mine was like a 3 month. I did do it though. I did do it.
Yeah.
Shout out Mumsy. I actually got my mum tattooed on my arm, you know.
Oh, a picture of it?
Shout out Sue. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
That's for a video as well. Tattoo roulette.
Oh shit.
But then because it's my mum, I can't be, I regret that, man.
Yeah.
It's a bit harsh. A bit harsh if I do that, you know what I mean? But I think it's just hilarious, like, I don't know. But yeah, you get what I'm saying.
You make me feel like I should see my parents more.
I'll take that. It could be a good thing.
I don't speak to them or visit them enough.
Huh?
I don't speak to them or visit them enough, probably.
Really? We don't speak to...
my parents. Enough.
Every situation's different, man. Like, growing up, I had a weird experience that kind of like... oh, mate, it's trauma. But, main point being, that's the reason why I'm so close to my mum. Because of those situations. Like, otherwise, people kind of find it weird that I'm so close to my mum. It's like a best friend thing.
Yeah.
But it's because of shit that's happened. Do you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. But if you, check in with them, man.
Yeah, I definitely should. I got a twin brother as well, non-identical twin. We're the complete opposite.
Twin?
Yeah, twin.
Sick.
Yeah, just nothing like each other.
Did you go on?
Probably better now than we used to.
Fair play.
Because I was like, oh fuck, we did share a womb. Maybe I should speak to him more.
Maybe we should go for a drink.
Yeah, it's interesting though, because we are an interesting case of, we have the exact same upbringing, like the same genes, granted not the exact same, so not identical twins, and we have such different worldviews on everything. I would love to know where that came from. Or if that's even common or not in twins, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's what this tattoo's for. I was a twin, but my twin didn't make it.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So I kind of not that I hear that, I didn't experience it, but like, it's a weird comparison in your head, because you're like, as you said, shared a womb. Why don't we get on?
Yeah, I used to get compared so much. I hated it. That's probably partly why I like rebelled against the system. I was like, I want to be different to him.
Which is fair play, and look where you are now, which is sick. But at the same time, there's always like, it's always going to come back round, and like, regardless if you go off your separate ways or like you don't get on, like, I've got a weird relationship with siblings, parents, whatever, but it always comes back to that moment where it makes sense again. I feel like personally, that there'll be a moment where, look, you've got your journey, you're doing your thing, maybe he's doing his thing, but it'll come back round and it'll make sense. Do you know what I mean? And you'll sit down and be like, great. I get it now.
Yeah, I think
I don't know your situation, obviously, but
yeah, I hope so.
no, of course, just check in, man.
I have to get him on the pod.
I'd watch it, bro. I think it'd be really interesting. How was it? Well, I was the same age, isn't he?
Yeah, so I reckon it'd be quite boring on here, but get a few drinks down and
what's his name?
James.
James, get on a podcast, man.
Yeah, he's an engineer. He used at Rolls Royce, so I used to be, just something like that.
Not just any engineer.
Yeah, he's very different to me, but very smart. Yeah.
I love that, man. I love that. And that's important. Yeah, checking in. And that's one thing as well. Like, I know we're just jumping off topic to topic at this point.
It's good.
But I think checking in is something I've been like, trying to be like aware of a lot more. Like reaching out to people.
What, with like mates as well?
Everybody. It's something when we were talking about that ego year I had, I feel like I lost everyone. I just distant. I didn't know who the fuck I was. Do you know what I mean? So now I'm like, I will make sure I check in everybody as much as I can, of course. But like, yeah, man, I just don't want to get to a point in my life where I had so many great friends.
Yeah, do you know one thing I've really realised, and like, it seems obvious, but like started to click. Maybe it's one thing I was thinking about when I decided I wasn't getting joy from like material things or whatever. Basically came to the conclusion that everything is shit unless you're doing it with people you care about.
Facts.
Or just with people, but particularly people you care about. Like, you could be, I don't know, in the fucking a 7-star hotel in the most beautiful resort in the world, but if you're by yourself, it's shit.
It's facts, bro. Will Smith said something like this, and it's a quote that's very similar.
Like, it's like so... Yeah, I've had a few experiences like that when I've been in really cool places or doing... In fact, one of them was when I was driving that car. I actually remember writing a note in my iPhone. I stopped and I was like, wow, I feel really sad. Why do I feel sad? Because I'm doing it by myself.
Yeah.
No one fucking cares. Like,
yeah,
if you're not sharing an experience with anyone, the experience usually, unless it's like you meditating or whatever, but
yeah, it's true.
It's not doesn't have the same.
It's completely different. That one quote I live with, always. I'm not really a quote person either. I'll be honest. Like a lot of them, I'm like, oh, it's cool. But like one thing that really stood out for me is like Will Smith. What guy, by the way?
Yeah.
What king? He was like, the only true happiness, as in like an emotion that you'll feel, like the only true feeling of happiness you'll ever get is when you're helping other people. And at first I was like, it doesn't make sense. But there's the experiences like we just spoke about. If you bought that Ferrari for your brother, that feeling of like excitement, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying go and buy him a fucking Ferrari, but I'm saying like little things like sharing experiences. This 5-star hotel is great, but if I don't get to share that emotion with someone, it feels empty. And I think that's like buying a watch. If you bought someone that you really care about, a family member, a watch, it's a different feeling to you wearing it every day.
Yeah, that's very true. I did a personality test. I don't know if you've ever done one.
Oh, the
16personalities.com. There's a few of them.
Yeah. With the leprechauns and shit.
Yeah. And I was like ENFJ, protagonist, whatever. And I did it like 3 times every year. And I always got the same results. It was like pretty consistent. I mean, maybe it's like one of those star sign things that, you know, it's relatable to everyone because you're in that mindset. But yeah. I read it and it was so accurate. And one of the things, it was like, you get a lot of pleasure, like being generous to people or whatever. And I was like, I definitely do, because I probably, even though ironically I've never bought my brother a fucking car and shit, it was for me, but like, yeah, I can see why Will Smith said that, because I think that's probably why, I think I mentioned this in a pod I did last night. That's probably why I'm motivated by money and shit, but it's probably more so I can like give it to other people, or maybe not give it to other people, but share experiences and like provide for other people, i.e. like my family or whatever, my future family that don't exist yet.
That's the real motivation, bro. That's it.
Yeah, if I actually break it down, because there's only so many fucking like cars you can buy or whatever.
But it's true, like little things, like, this sounds so weird, I don't know if you'll rate me saying this, but like, me and my brother have a weird relationship, right? Love the boy to pieces. But I remember, it wasn't too long ago, he like drove me up to Bristol to get the train back up to London, and his car broke down. And it was like 300 quid, 400 quid. I saw his face then, be like, fuck. And to be able to be like, bro, here it is, sort it, keep the rest, do you know what I mean? That was better than hitting 100k subs, 200k subs, 300k subs, buy my first Rolex, like everything, bro. Just being like, cool, sorted. Genuinely, like that feeling for me was just like, wow.
Yeah.
And I know it seems cliche and so like airy fairy, but genuinely like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like go and like split your bank account in half and just go give it out. But
no, it's very true. Where do you think you get most like fulfillment from now then in terms of what you're doing? Because that's what I'm trying to work out.
It's a hard question.
Because I've been like scaring myself by, like I said, like recently I was in Mykonos and I realised I wasn't actually fucking happy being there. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I need to work on the shit that like fulfills me, because there's a long road of life ahead. And
what fulfills you right now? Name 3 things that you feel like when you've done that thing, you feel good in yourself.
Doing a hard ass run is probably one of them. And like finishing it, going through pain.
Getting there. But
yeah, that's probably one thing. I feel like I like doing the pod because I like having conversations. I think that's
you leave feeling like, yeah, mate, it's sick. It's sick.
Well, I feel like conversations like the lost human art form or some bullshit, because everyone's just on the phone all the time, and that's why I refuse to do it online as well.
Okay.
Because I don't want it to be another online thing, even though it posts online. But the experience of doing it has to be real. Because
it's like, it's the whole thing of, we feel like we can connect so easily via social. We feel like we're connecting all the time.
Yeah, and social
but like
media
that human connection is so different.
Yeah.
So different. I get what you mean. That's a good list. It's a good list. I think mine's pretty similar. Like, going through like whether it's training, running, you hit that point of like, I can't do this, and you get past that, and then afterwards you're like, you know what, fair play. Like, that's sick. Fulfillment. Music's a big thing. Why the fuck am I doing music? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, we haven't spoke about that enough. Tell me about that.
Fuck, where do you want to go from? The start, or it's not a long story.
Is that becoming more than YouTube?
Bro, it's difficult.
Like, do you like which thing would you pick if you could only pick one? Like, you got the YouTube, the music, the fashion stuff. I mean, I don't know why I'm asking you, because you don't have to pick one, but where does it sit in your head?
It's so difficult. I'll be honest with you. Shit, sorry, bro. Just missed the carpet.
Oh, don't worry.
It's hard saying this because it's like I've always had to doubt myself because of where I've come from. There's a big stigma around going from YouTube to making music. I was a YouTuber making another fucking song.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I knew going into it that's what it'd be like. But 4 years down the line, like, we've had songs that have hit 1 mil, 1.5 mil, like some like mad shit. But like gaining respect has never been a thing. It's so hard, bro. Like, so as much as I like to be like, yeah, I love making music, I've always got that thought in the back of my head that's like, you can't say that because you've come off a platform and do you know what I mean? But that brings me a lot of happiness. It was an accident how it started as well. I think I was hungover all the time in that house. Good old 18-year-old Spence, loving life.
Yeah.
I posted I actually remember you saying like something about freestyle rap.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the first time you do it, you'll be like, oh shit, like a big guest. I was just really active on Twitter at the time. I posted it, and I remember in like 2-3 days time, it had like 10k likes, which back in Twitter days, that was like, it's like 300,000-400,000 views. I was like, oh god, like, and it was good. It was positive, like response. So my whole world just changed. Jamal hit me up. Fucking legend, bro. When I was like 18, 17. And he's like, bro, this is sick. Met him. He really was the one that got me, like, I don't know, just boost the confidence with it all. Like, put me in situations where I didn't feel like I had to explain myself when it came to making music. If that makes sense. Don't know if you met Jamal.
No.
Nah. But yeah, so that was a thing, and I kept doing it. And then I was just in rooms where I've always done music. Like, my dad's a jungle DJ, like a soul DJ.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Weird guy. Wavy guy, actually, not weird. But my brother's a big musician as well, so it's always been like a family thing. Like, growing up, always loved it, always played like instruments. But because of the YouTube thing, you'd enter a room with people that, I don't know, would normally be like, yeah, that's cool. They purposely would be like, nah, I can't fuck with this guy. I don't fuck with this guy. And it's been the same like throughout the 4 years of doing it. Like, I'll be in rooms with people that, I don't know, Probably like, I don't know. But you hear what I'm saying? Like, as much as I love to be like, I love music, I love it. Because it's great. I feel like what I talk about in the music, my management explain it like, it's the only time we get to hear the real you. I'm not talking about cars, girls, okay, maybe sometimes, but like, it's like an expression. It's like an outlet for me. So like, when you know that people are going to try and hate it as soon as it comes out, it's like, for fuck's sake. But I love the music.
That sounds like it happens to a lot of people. Like when KSI first started putting music out, I think there's still an element of that.
But he's a gatekeeper for that. Like, he's
I speak to Wes, who was obviously on Love Island.
Yeah, of course.
He said he still has that.
And unfortunately, I feel like...
Where does that come from? Is it just people want... It's just a reason to knock them down, or what?
People don't like people doing well, man. And like, hats off to Wes, hats off to JJ. Like, these people are opening doors for people like me. Do you know what I mean? But I still have had it for 4 years. Like, even people... I don't know, man. Like, I don't even want to start naming names, but there's been people that have put me on, like, people like Jamal. I don't know if you know Aaron Unknown. Do you know Aaron?
Yeah.
People like this have like, it's not my big bro, like picked me up from 18 and was like, nah, you're coming with me, sort of thing. So I got a lot of love and respect for people that did believe in what I was trying to do. There's only a handful of them, but even now, like, as much as I love music, I'm still going to be fighting this war of like, I'm not trying to be something. I'm not out here trying to be somebody that I'm not. I just love making music, man. Like production, everything. But because of where I've come from, I still make TikToks, bro. So it's hard for people to visualize it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's really difficult. But I love it to pieces. I
think you'll always do it regardless of how commercially successful it is, or like how people respond to it because of YouTube.
Yeah, because it's a different connection. Like, it's not like a YouTube video where people can watch it and be like, cool, done, that's sick, what's next? People like revisit it. And I think if what you're talking about in your music is like honest and it's real and people relate to it, it's a different feeling. Like growing up, I used to listen to, like, my first album I ever bought was like Dr. Dre 2001, like Eminem, like that was my shit, like growing up, and it did something to me. Do you know what I mean? And I think if one person can listen to the music and be like, and I've had people come up to me and say this, but like, you know what, that helped me through this, or like I resonate with that. Bro, it's a different feeling than to put in a video out called Say It or Shot It, and people are going, this was jokes.
Yeah.
See what I mean? But I think there'll always be that. I don't know. People just don't want you doing well.
Yeah, interesting. What do you think is the biggest opportunity in terms of the fashion stuff then, and building brands off the back of your brand, especially as you said, you want to be less all about you, like into the future?
Like, what's the goal for the fashion stuff?
Yeah, and like, do you think, is it similar with the music in the sense that because you're building a brand off the back of your brand, is it always going to be associated with you, or do you want to build something that's like bigger than you and separate to you? Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, that's the long-term goal. Like we spoke about, big up the boys, Cole Buxton, represent. Yeah. That is like my like ideal like dream. Do you know what I mean? Like sort of have like a social profile about it, but it's low key. Yeah,
more as the founder of the brand rather than the brand.
Yeah, like people respect it. Like, this guy's cool because of what he creates, not this guy's cool. Do you know what I mean? I think there's such a difference. And I think that's the dream for me now, is like, with the fashion stuff, I've been lazy with it, but I just haven't had the right headspace with it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I look up to these guys, I'm like, that's so cool, bro. And like, there's nothing else that gets me gassed like that. Same with the music stuff. I'll like watch someone spit, or like someone will say something and it's like, bro, I don't know about you, I'm listening to music 24/7.
Yeah, same.
Do you know, I'm talking
listen
shower,
to everything as well,
to the toilet,
every genre.
Yeah, because it hits different. And I think for me, YouTube doesn't do that anymore, unfortunately, because I don't want to self-reflect every week. The podcast thing's sick, I love this concept, but like sharing my life every day, it's not that exciting, man. But the music, I can spend more time on it. It's scary when you release it, but it feels different. Like, people feel it differently. And same with clothing. Like, it's so easy to put a name on a piece of clothing, but it's like, how do you get people to resonate with that? Same with like space goods and shit. Like, you want people to actually fuck with the product, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I feel like fashion, like all the stuff I've done, I've never. Well, I used to have a clothing brand when I was like 21.
Is it?
It did pretty well. We had like Luke Hemmings from 5 Seconds of Summer wearing it and shit.
Jeez.
But I was never. It was called Dusk. I mean, we did like a few $100 grand in sales. This is when I was like 20 at uni. It was never like, I was never that into it. I wasn't really into fashion that much. And then you had a jewelry business as well. I guess that was like fashion, but I was never into that. But that did really well. And then before I had the neon thing. But I guess now I'm trying to change the fucking world with mushrooms, which is more of like, that's never going to be about me, because I mean, it's also like, it's not a fashion brand. It's not necessarily even a cool brand, even though I think it can be in the space. But it's very different to like brands like Cold Bucks and Represent, because they're sick brands that I guess the founders have kind of built their own personal brands off the back of the brand, rather than building a brand off the back
Other way around,
yeah, exactly. Like, what do you think stopping you building a multi-million-pound massive brand that you're passionate about, if anything? You say that's like the dream, like
that's the goal, yeah. And this is why I said I just pull you for a chat scene.
Why can't you go head first into that?
Because that's what I want to do. But I think because I've done this OAR thing, which is my clothing brand that I've had since I dropped out, I've just been like connected to dragging it along. And if I'm gonna do it, I want to do it properly, and I want to be proud of everything that I'm putting out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to half-heart it. I've half-hearted it for like 5 years. But that's definitely something that is in the works, has been planned for a while. I just need to pick a few brains.
So that's something you could see yourself doing for like 10 years?
I'd love to, man. It'd be the dream. Like the whole concept around it, whether it's like, I want people wearing clothes. Like, that was the original meaning of OAR, is people wear it because they're like breaking the mold, or they're doing something different. And that's what it felt like when we first started. People wearing it would come up and be like I said, dropped out of college, I'm now freelance photography, like my life's da-da-da-da-da. That was what the purpose was, and I feel like I lost that. So if I can get something like that, I've got a brand with meaning, not people coming up to me, but like when I see someone wearing it, it's like a mindset thing. I don't know, it's like something bigger than me, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah,
this is also something I think about a lot, is because I've always had this idea in my head, I'll build a business to sell and get really rich before I'm like 30, and then I'm like done.
And then disappear for a bit, yeah.
But then it's like, wait a minute. Let's say that happens. What do I do for the next 50 years? So then it's like, maybe I should just actually work on shit that I could imagine myself doing super long term, rather than having this, you know, goal of it being done by 30 or whatever, which I don't even know where that comes from in the first place. And granted, maybe have like goals by a certain time, but there's like a lot of life ahead, and I guess I'm just trying to work out like, how would I want to spend my time as like when I'm like an adult with like,
yeah, what does that even look like? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think about this because it's like, when you're younger, you are kind of told what to do, you fit into this box, and like, I granted, like, I dropped out of uni and then I kind of figured it out myself, but like, even then I feel like when you're in your 20s and shit, I don't know, people expect you to be a bit more random and shit and try different things, but then it's like, you kind of have to pick like your arena to operate in. I guess mine is like e-commerce and shit, but even within that, will I do that forever? I don't know. Like, I don't know if you think about this at all, but yeah, I'm trying to think like, what will I be doing when I'm 40, like work-wise? Because it's a nice idea to be like, oh, I'll just be sat on a yacht, but you'd be fucking bored out of your brain after about a week.
Like, cool, like, you go on a yacht and you're, oh, I can't have to be on sea today. Do you know what I mean? It'd be the same problem, bro. But I think what you're saying, it's like, what does it look like? What would keep me fulfilled at that age? Like, do you know who Daniel Arsham is?
Don't know.
Like a
maybe I
conceptual artist, wavy guy. He's like, he gets like Pokemon. He's like an artist. He has like that Pokemon. Have you seen those? It's like a Pokemon card made out of concrete, but it's got like crystals in it.
Nah, bro, sounds cool though.
But like that shit, like just shit that's so different, abstract. I could do that when I'm 40. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But it's just like, I don't know about you. I have a fear of people not receiving it well. I don't know if that comes from what I've done in the past with YouTube and like, I'd love to.
What, as in you feel like you can't be like as creative as you want to be because people might just think it's weird or whatever?
But I think that's sadly the mindset that I'm having to unlearn now. Like slowly unlearn. Because we were talking about like, I feel like I live my life to entertain other people.
Yeah.
So I'm slowly learning to not use that opinion first. In like, even now, do you know what I mean? I find myself in situations where I'm like, this idea would be so sick, and then boom, oh, I can't do that.
I know what you mean, actually. I've started to break away from that a little bit with like this new brand, like even just like the fucking names I'm calling products and the fact that it's all pink, and I'm just like,
I'm here for
now
the
I've
pink,
stopped like giving a shit about, oh, people might think that my branding is like gay or feminine. Do you know what I mean? And now I'm trying to be like more of a creative, because like I was saying off camera before, I feel like I just got bogged down in like the running of a business, which ironically, like including stuff I've done in the past, was started because of, like, I initially used to draw logos. That's where it all came from, like years and years ago.
And now you're doing the reverse.
Yeah, so now I'm trying to like go back to trying to figure out, obviously, like I want to build a very commercially successful business. I understand a lot of that because I've been doing it for years. I'm still figuring it out, but I also don't just want to be, I don't even want to be considered like a businessman. I'd rather be known as like the fucking guy that does the pink branding and build this sick thing. But
that's how, the thing is, that's how you see it. I do see it as how you wanted to see it, to be completely honest. Because I know, I've met you once, do you know what I mean? But like, I know these ideas are yours. So I don't know if that's like a, I don't know. I'm not even trying to toot your horn here. I'm just like,
yeah, like
watching the space goods, all the imagery and everything come together. It looks sick. I knew it was your idea. Do you know what I mean? But as you said, like, obviously you started wanting to be known for this, and now you're having to do the 70% business work.
Yeah,
and now it's like,
it's a fine line, like figuring out the balance.
Yeah, but it's, yeah, I don't know, just like a fear of how it's received. Do you have that a lot, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think I probably started giving less of a fucks and started putting like content out and just being honest on like the podcast and shit.
That's it.
But I mean, I'll probably get cancelled at some point. There'll be some clip I've said, you know, a year ago that when it's like played slowly and out of context, it looks misogynistic or whatever. Yeah. Probably that'll happen at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I've got to the point in life where, because I've been through some like bad times as well, I just like, I'm trying to just enjoy the process as well. But even that's something that I'm battling with, like, because I kind of realised that I think the thing that I'm missing in the process is like just more people around me, because again, what we were saying before, and I've ranted about this on my own, like YouTube, it's so great being able to work from anywhere and be remote and, you know, have a fully online business, and you can scale it to the moon even though you don't have an office and shit. But then it's like, but what does my day-to-day look like if I'm not in fucking Mykonos? I actually would like to have an office with 20 people in it, because then we have like,
comes back
there's
to
energy in the room and like routine, and that's something I could do long term. So I'm trying to figure that out, because it's difficult.
It's part of the journey, and I think
like it's kind of lonely just doing everything remote.
It's lonely, bro,
because everything's just online. I fucking speak to the team online, I speak to everyone online. You
spend the whole day going from here to the toilet, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, and then you go, oh, I've just like, I think London's like that though. It's so fast paced that if you're not doing something for the day, it plays on your mind a lot more. Remote working. But then it comes into the whole thing of like, so if you had other people here, would you be happier or would you be more distracted?
Well, that's the thing. So it comes down to like happiness versus like efficiency and like what actually makes sense to achieve like the goal. But then it's like, if you're not fucking happy, then does anything else matter? I don't know. That's kind of a philosophical one. Yeah.
It comes into it. Do you want a relationship? I know we were speaking about it earlier. Just chatting about like, because I think it comes into this like companionship. I think, as you said, like entrepreneurial stuff, it's very lonely.
Very fucking lonely.
Because you've got to believe in something that only you can see, right? Like, and then when you get someone like on board, or you're in a relationship, or talking to someone, or whatever dating is nowadays, you know what I mean? Like, it's a completely different story. Like having someone around all the time, like I said to you when the mics went on, like if I'm talking to someone or I'm in a relationship, I feel like subconsciously my decisions are altered by their opinion. When it comes to business as well, like everything I do, and it's not cool. And that's another thing I'm unlearning. But do you feel like...
I didn't know what you meant at first, but I get what you're saying now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you feel like because you said to me earlier that you like to think of it as like the hopeless romantic. Is that what you said? Hopeless?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't say, I always just like making movie moments in my head about probably really mundane shit. So I'm probably I like romanticizing everything, which isn't even just in a relationship sense. It's just like me fucking working on my laptop at night. I'll put a pink light on and play the 1975 for 2 hours, and I'll play it fucking slowed on YouTube, so it's even more romantic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
reverb version.
Yeah, exactly. Like the 1975. If you're in a bathroom at an after party, like those sort of videos.
Oh yeah.
That's the sort of vibe I like.
Do you feel like you're craving that like companionship, or do you think it's just not needed as a successful...
my mate said this to me the other day actually. They were like, you need a girlfriend, and I was like,
do you feel like you need a girlfriend though? A hard question actually, to be honest.
I mean, I don't feel like I need one, but I did say this, I think I said this when I was drunk to my mate. I said maybe the thing I feel like I'm sometimes missing is just like feminine energy in my life.
Bro, it's the best thing in the world. Not even in a sexual way or like a...
Yeah, no, literally, that's the thing. It's not even just that. Which
that
probably makes
comfort.
me sound like the opposite of fucking Andy Tate, but that just ain't me anyway, so stop watching the pod if you care about that sort of shit. But yeah, I don't know, that's even my mum said that to me. I was chatting to her like, everything's going well. Like, what is it that I feel is missing? And I was like, oh, maybe it's because I need an office. And she was like, oh, you need a girlfriend. I was like, nah. I mean...
Feminine energy is great, bro. It is. But gotta be so careful what I say.
Why?
Nah, I think... I don't know about yourself, but I always, like you said, like, fantasize about how, like doing it as a team. It's like the idea of that. Or like being able to show somebody like a side of life that they've never seen before, and do it like as a, do you know what I mean, like that classic film, like building a business together and running off into the stars and shit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
like, but
my biggest fantasy has always just been taking a girl to Italy and fucking driving around in a Ferrari, which I could do tomorrow if anyone wants to fucking come with me.
I'll come with you.
But this is the thing.
I'll come with
like,
you.
Yeah, I'm not going to go too deep on certain things.
Yeah,
but
it gets like that, man. But do you feel like, so you got this idea, but I feel like both of us are quite similar on this like fitness journey of like learning to feel comfortable in that loneliness. Does that make sense? Yeah, I
mean, I'm definitely by default someone that prefers being around people. And like,
really?
I operate. I think my problem, I'm not saying I can't be by myself, because I spend a lot of time by myself at working and shit, but my problem is if I can speak to someone, then my fucking thoughts aren't as loud in my head.
What's your relationship with yourself like?
Probably just a lot of time in my head overanalyzing things, which is probably why I need a really good expensive therapist, but instead I do the pod.
Yeah, just get Calm app.
I've tried that.
I'll send you some good links, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a weird thought though, isn't it? Because you don't know if you're like craving something that's just not, I don't know. I feel like relationships are a mad one in general. Because you want to experience the world and do all of that shit and meet new people and not feel too like tied down. But even myself, I'm a relationship person.
Have you always been in relationships typically?
I've probably been like 3 or 4, which is like, for my age, it's not, they've all been like a year and a half.
Yeah, that's quite a lot to be fair. I've only had one serious girlfriend.
How long was
ever?
that?
That was like 18 months.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd never wanted one other than that, because that just came along and it felt natural.
Yeah, and that's it.
Whereas my own brother has always had girlfriends like 3 years, a month later, 3 years, a month later, 3 years. Like, what the fuck? I'm just like, how do you even do that?
How do you do it?
Whereas for me, like, I'm by default like not remotely interested in anyone until someone comes along. I'm like, for fuck's sake.
You can't say no at that point.
Yeah. I would never go out looking for it, because I'm always so focused on my own shit, and I always have been. But yeah, like, I don't know. If there's some like pheromones going on there and it feels natural, then
It's crazy.
then I'm fucking all about it.
Have you had that moment as of like the past? I don't know. Maybe.
What, recently?
I don't know, mate. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's a weird one, right?
Potentially.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I feel like similarly, probably quite similar, but I do the same loop, bro. When it comes to like girls' relationships, like I have a solid 3 months. I swear on my life, this sounds so like pick me, bro. Like I'll get sat down and it'll be like, "You're too nice," and it makes me feel like I'm in that film. Do you know what I mean? When I'm not just like a dickhead. That's just like.
What, as in you'll be dating someone and then turns out you're too nice?
Or like that whole like, oh, it's not you, it's me vibe. Because I feel like with us like romantics, I'm just there. Do you know?
That is an interesting one, because there's this. I reference like Andy Tate again because everyone's talking about him right now. There's that whole like red pill movement on like Twitter particularly, and this kind of like extreme, I would say, like toxic masculinity to the point where like guys can't have emotions. Like you have to, I don't know, like just be this like beefcake sort of
alpha male.
Yeah, like alpha male bollocks. And the irony is it's all these 18-year-olds that have no alpha traits whatsoever that are pushing this narrative,
aspiring to be like that.
Whereas I've always felt like the most masculine thing is just being authentically yourself.
Facts all day, bro, all day.
And obviously there's a time and a place where I don't know, I feel like I could fucking, if I really needed to, I could protect someone, and you know, like I'm physically capable. But at the same, I've never understood, I've never related to the whole like people will say like pink is feminine, like you can't listen to like romantic music and shit, but I'm like, what? That's just me, because I'm comfortable in my own sexuality and like personality.
It's a great thing to be.
I don't need to pretend I'm some big meathead and like punch someone in the street to look hard, because like there's something Jordan Peterson said, something so interesting, but it's like true masculinity is like being a dangerous person who has it under voluntary control or something. And that's like intellectually dangerous, like articulate, I don't know if that's even a fucking word, being able to articulate yourself properly, being like emotionally intelligent as well as intelligent, like that's all like skills, I think. And I don't know, I think the idea of like you just need to be some fucking guy that goes around punching people and like every woman is a piece of shit and all this, it's like this strange polarizing narrative that everyone seems to have jumped on, but it's just never been me.
No, but I'm not gonna get like slated for saying this, but like I feel like this just comes from my experience anyway. I don't know about yourself. Like when you are trying to be honest and you are like that, like intact with your emotions, and you're just like, yeah, like I'm here in it, like everything's good, and then you don't cause drama. I feel like girls love that. Almost like they want that masculine figure then. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like a whole role reversal situation where if you act too soft, I'm not running around like a little, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but like there is a fine line.
But I just feel like it reflects.
You need to be a bit of a cunt sometimes.
I can't do it, bro. Because also it's like, why am I trying? Like, bro, I'm not gonna sit here and like pretend that like, look at me. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sit here like this. Like, it doesn't make sense. But hopefully one day things will interlock.
I mean, the first thing is girls are incredibly confusing. The second thing is some girls would look at a character like Andy Tate and think he's the most gorgeous thing ever. But then you get the girls that are really into like Harry Styles, who dresses as a woman and I think is like bisexual and shit, and they love that. So it's like, well, that's why I just think you should just be authentically yourself. Do what fucking comes naturally to you, because there's no point trying to fake being either way, because there's plenty of people that like either type and somewhere in between. So just fucking be yourself.
And if you can attract someone when you are your 100% true self.
And that comes back to what you were saying at the start. So you feel like you do things with the reaction of the other person in mind.
Which
maybe means you're not being yourself.
Because I'm worried about what they think.
Yeah.
Mad. It's crazy,
I mean,
man. It's
everyone
crazy.
Probably does that to an extent. Particularly if you don't know someone that well and you're trying to fucking... Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the early stages of dating someone or whatever, you're always putting on a bit of a show, which is risky, because at what point do you just be yourself? And then,
but it's scary, isn't it? And I had this conversation with this girl recently, and it made me think a lot. It was like, she was describing to me about how she feels like the dating in this generation is like people view others as like everyone's disposable.
Oh, I tweeted about this, and it's my only tweet that's ever gone viral.
Really?
Got like,
what did it say?
Got like over 1 million impressions. It was just something like, this generation like is fucked with dating, because it was basically that, because everyone's so disposable. There's always, grass is always greener.
You can just
always
block a contact, and bro, it made
go
me
on
think.
Instagram. There's 20,000 people within within London that would probably reply to a DM.
And if you're looking at certain sort of girls, your explore page is going to be filled with a variation of other people.
Yeah.
Bro, it's so tapped, like so tapped, and I think that is probably a fear, even in myself, why I'm scared to like be in a relationship.
I feel that in like 2022.
Oh, fact, bro, dating's
Because-
tapped now.
Yeah.
Because you go on a date, and then you can just be like, yeah, no. But you can go on 4 or 5 dates. You can date someone for 4 months, 3 months, and then,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? Like, it's just that fear of like, oh mate, like, yeah. And social media, like, as a concept in dating is terrible. Like,
It's great for access, but terrible for longevity.
facts.
I'll just come up with that now. It sounds quite
Yeah,
good.
that was banging.
It's quite intellectual.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is. I think because it's only going to get worse for like the next generation. People that are like 10 years old now,
It's all they
growing
know.
up into like adolescence with like TikTok.
It's all they know. I feel like personally, there was like, growing up till I was about 10 or 11, there was still that like, you just live outside still. But if you're growing up in this like community society that's based on comparison, whether it's girls, females, you've seen relationships that the way it should be. How does like, bro, like even like girls I've been with before that like feel, I'm sat there and I'm like, I feel like this girl was trying to like relive a TikTok she's seen. Do you know what I mean though? Like,
Yeah.
it feels like everyone's got an expectation of what it should be like. And
Yeah.
now that the social media generation's coming up, like, imagine when 10-year-olds are now 18 and they go out dating.
I read something that like birth rates are going down because of social media. There's like some, broadly speaking, that was
Birth
the
rate?
premise of it. Like basically people are not in relationships, so therefore aren't having children. Like that's the long-term effect of potentially this sort of thing.
Do you want kids?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
But no time soon.
I know a lot of my mates are just like, no. And that's the first time I've heard it, like, recently.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, like definitely no time soon at all. But I just think, maybe it comes from that like maybe desire to like be a provider for my future family and shit and build this fucking legacy. 'Cause I think I just naturally feel like that would give me fulfillment
Yeah.
at that point.
And I think that's a fair justification of it. But I don't know. I feel like the whole thing's just kind of getting scary. Like, I'm scared, even with my job. Bro, it's terrifying. Trying to convince a girl, like, nah, like, that sounded really weird the way I said that. But, like, I feel like even just chatting to a girl, or you're speaking to a girl, probably similar with you as well. Like, oh, but you can go and chat to someone that's in your DMs. And, like, I'll get shit for that. But I won't do anything, bro. Like,
yeah, I mean, I definitely don't have that to the same extent, not remotely, because you got a blue tick and 200,000 followers and all this shit. But I mean,
similar concept.
I've flippantly said that to girls before. Like,
is it?
I've said, not that I wouldn't actually go near a girl that had like 100,000 followers by default, but like even just, you don't even have to have followers. But like these days, it's like, I don't know, is fucking Drake gonna DM the girl you're into and just
feel like
she's
an
gone?
option, right?
Yeah, it's a weird one, and it works
even
both
in
ways,
dating,
of course.
yeah. I feel like even dating now, I feel like an option.
It's kind of deep. It's true.
But it's facts. Like, if I don't do a certain thing or make sure I'm top form, then she's gonna go see Michael from Leicester.
Yeah,
for
I
the
mean,
weekend.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's weird, bro. Like,
But
why?
the thing is with that, and again, it works both ways. Like, because yeah, guys and girls get DMs, I suppose. I mean, probably more girls, but
Yeah, true, probably.
by default, the only way to build anything long term and fucking like have kids and shit and prevent the birth rate and population going down is to just fucking pick one person and like obviously foster that relationship and water the grass, so to speak. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that looks for this generation, because everyone's on social media and everyone is, you know, in theory, like replaceable very quickly because of like Instagram primarily.
Because you can, it's terrifying, bro. Like the more we talk about this, the more I feel a bit weird. But you're so correct with it.
That's why you got to make sure if you're dating a girl, she doesn't have an Instagram account. You got to delete that Instagram account. You got to both delete Instagram. No, I'm joking. But
like, bro, like
that might become the solution to this sort of.
Do you reckon social media will get to a point where it will be the new trend to not have it?
Probably, but the problem is, I went through a phase of deleting Instagram for like 6 months. Like I didn't even have a profile, and then I delete the app all the time. So I'm like, I don't need this. But then I'm like, I mean, what if someone messages me and it's like an opportunity? I don't know. It could be anything.
It's that anxiety of not knowing. Like,
so now it's like, if anyone that I actually know, I will like speak to me on WhatsApp, because I'm checking DMs.
Yeah,
I try not to go on the app, and like even Twitter as well. Like, I mean, Twitter is more like intellectual, so I kind of prefer that, but
still a dark place.
Yeah, you need to have a profile these days, because otherwise you basically are no one.
Terrifying.
So like this girl that I mentioned off camera, her Instagram account got disabled right last week out of nowhere. So on Monday.
Yeah.
So she messaged me freaking out because she knew that I could fix it, and I was like, all right, fucking hell, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
And we did fix it in like a day, but she was literally like, oh, my fucking life's over. And I'm there joking like, oh, you'd probably be probably much happier if your account never comes back. But it's like, fuck, yeah, it's our personal like CV. It's like our identity. You almost don't exist without a social media profile.
Bro, if mine's touch wood of some sort, if my social got deleted, bro, I don't know what I'd do.
Because I've had my brand page, the Space Goods account got disabled twice in the first 3 months because I was speaking about psychedelics. So I had to cut that entirely.
And you're putting money behind it, right?
Yeah, a load of money.
Like psychedelics and...
Yeah, so that's been a problem. And it happened in the past with the Neon Beach account and all this. And like, it can kill a business.
Just momentum-wise and everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so fragile.
It's terrifying, man. But I think, even though we're talking about a lot of negatives, I won't be sat here without it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think, I do feel like there's a lot more negatives than positives. But I think it's just like, as we said, it's all balance, isn't it?
I think ultimately, the answer is have a profile, whether it's personal or business, use it for what you need, but just don't spend all your time on it.
Just don't rely on self-image.
Just like limit how much time you're on social media.
Yeah, no, 100%. I said like when I'm 30, but then you said this, like it's the whole goal of like 30, I'll turn my phone off and never turn it on again because I'll complete it. Do you know what I mean?
In Bali by the beach.
Sounds great. I'd love to do that right now. But at the same time, in 6 months, I'd be like, fuck. What we're doing.
It's become more, almost like a limb rather than an option now.
Yeah,
like social media.
Gear, isn't it? Yeah.
Like you need to have it to exist.
It's terrifying. Like even the thought of, I actually think I'd lose 90% of people I call friends if I didn't have a social profile. Not because of the way they view me, but just in general, like contacting them.
Yeah.
Just lose half the
It's
people
mad.
I know. Crazy shit.
I don't know what the answer to it is really, but yeah, I think the thing it comes down to at the end of the day is like humans through social media and like this whole metaverse shit that's obviously been talked about loads. I just don't like it should be a tool to connect and leverage the internet and whatever, but it will never, in my opinion, and cannot ever replace just the biological functions of humans. Because like, granted we have technology, but at the end of the day, we're still meant to be outside more than we are inside. We need to speak to each other, look each other in the eyes, touch people. We can't do that online. Human
connection is the most important thing in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
If you think,
and it's becoming like a dying form.
It is. But if you we could go so far into this. I just don't want to sound too nuts. Do you know what I mean?
Conspiracy theories and shit.
But it's like, right, okay, go back to when we were just walking around as a... have you read Sapiens?
No, I've heard about it though.
It's such a lit book. So it's all about like different human species. Right, imagine you're that and you're walking around it's just there's nothing going on. You're just walking around. You go kill something to eat your food. You bring it back to your family. You spend all day with them. Now we have to live in 4 walls. You have to.
Yeah, it's actually crazy.
To be safe, you've got to live in 4 walls. Do you know what I mean? And then you've got all these other things that you need to have, right? It's just, the whole thing's crazy. Like now we need a phone to connect with people that we don't know. And without it, we feel lost. And that's just, bro, it's, yeah. I don't want to start sounding like...
No, it's crazy.
I mean? But I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I can't wait for the day that it will make sense.
Yeah, I guess it's like a thing this entire generation and fucking world is trying to figure out.
We're all guinea pigs to it though, aren't we?
Because it is mad, the iPhone didn't exist like 13 years ago, basically. And same with like social media.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So why?
So like, what's next? I always think like technology is going so quick.
Oh God, yeah.
But like biology hasn't changed. Do you know what I mean? Like that's probably why that a lot of people that are fucking depressed and anxiety is going through the roof, and it's because we're not living like humans anymore. We're living like robots in many ways.
Yeah. I don't want to get into too much detail, but yeah, your facts. But also like we don't have a choice so much, right? Like, I'm going to leave it on this. Like the whole COVID situation. We just leave it there, do you know what I mean? You don't have a choice in this shit. We don't.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy.
Well, cheers to that.
Yeah, I feel like we could go on forever. I'm going to ask you a few more questions and we'll wrap up.
Sick.
I've started asking a lot of people these sort of things. What do you think's been the hardest thing in your career thus far? At the ripe old age of 22, I guess since you were 17, what do you think's been the hardest part about doing what you do?
Is it like day in, day out, or like a moment, or like just anything?
Maybe both. I guess it's a pretty broad question.
Day in, day out, it's like days where I feel like really insecure, or I just don't feel myself, and I've got like a branded piece of content that I've got to add like a character in. That fucks me up. You talk about challenges. We didn't.
Hardest thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought you said something nice, and there's me being like, oh, fucking hell, so hard. But yeah, no, that probably. And then hardest moments, probably like that cancellation thing. Cancellation. Just a difficult period. But apart from that, I'm very blessed. I haven't said this, I just want to say this as well. I'm very grateful, very blessed that I'm able to live this amazing lifestyle at the same time. Because I feel like I just chat shit about YouTube for about 2 hours.
Yeah, no.
But at the same time, it's a mad blessing being able to support people and like live a life that I never thought I could live. I'm very grateful for that. But it does obviously come with challenges that we spoke about.
Yeah.
What about yourself, actually? I'm intrigued.
Flip it on me. Well, I'll answer in the opposite way. I think the hardest time was like the last year I spoke about in like 2021, definitely by fucking far. I think the hardest thing broadly, other than that, in entrepreneurship is probably 2 things, which is cheating, but the ups and downs, which has probably made me like medicinally bipolar at this point.
Yeah. Yes.
Because yeah, like my day, my week could be defined by how well the business is going, or what the numbers look like, or
what the graph is saying. Like,
yeah, exactly. And there's great times and there's shit times. But I think other than that, probably the loneliness of building shit in every way, like physically sometimes, but probably more mentally, because especially as like a solo founder, which I've always been, you bear the brunt of everything. You've got to believe in yourself 10 times more than anyone else can, right? Yeah. So I think that, but fair play. But again, like you just said, I'm still very aware that even with all the ups and downs, I'm very fortunate. I'd never say lucky, because it's not that, but very fortunate. Yeah, and I'm probably not great. I probably don't practice gratitude enough, because at the end of the day, I'm healthy. I have a great circle of friends, and I'm doing what I would have wanted to be doing when I was 16 years old. So at the end of the day, I'm sure there's people that are watching this that are inspired by your journey. Do you know what I mean? And that's I hope so. Like, so. I know what you mean. I do feel like we just chat shit about our jobs. However, very grateful, very grateful. That's everything we kind of dreamed of, right?
I think we're just being honest and transparent about what comes with it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, final question, and this puts everyone on the spot. 3 bits of advice to your 17-year-old self, knowing what you know now.
Wow. 3. First one, what can it be, like just personal?
Just anything, just broadly.
Sounds so cliche, but one thing that I just screaming is like, believe in what you see and what you believe in what you want to do, like your vision, whatever it is. Because I feel like a lot of times in my life, I could have hit the jackpot, or I could have hit the lick on something, but I listened to someone that doesn't know what they're on about, its opinion, and I've been like, yeah, no worries. And it's like not my confidence with that, but yeah, no worries. But looking back now, like, I was like, fuck, that could have been sick. Things like that. Just believe in, whether it's music, like, I don't know, you said you wanted your freestyle rap shit, bro, just send it. Like, do you know what I mean though? Like, you just gotta do it. Like, if it's fun or if it's just for like whatever, I think, yeah, I would have just not lost my confidence as much with it during that weird phase when I was 18. Second one, invest your money. Like, obviously have fun with it, you've got to, but looking back, it's some, mate, like, I've made some awful financial mistakes.
Oh, so have I.
I've made some great ones as well, I'm sure you have too. But it's like, how many pairs of shoes do you need? Like,
yeah.
But little shit, like, just because I could, and like, I think when I was younger, I couldn't afford the shit that I wanted, so I bought it. And now you realise, but yeah, just save your money, invest it. Like, yeah, just be smart. That's one thing I tell myself. And then the third one is smile more. Because I feel like, even just this, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like at the end of the day, you've seen that TikTok where it like zooms out and it's just like, yeah,
it's crazy.
But it's true, like, it's like weird and spiritual you want to get with it. Like, could be gone tomorrow, mate. Just enjoy it. Like, I think that's what we've kind of been talking about. It's like we're very grateful for what's happened, but yeah, enjoy it. Smile.
That's a good message to end on, I think.
Yeah.
I feel like that was a very varied episode, and I like it for that reason.
To be fair, I loved it. I feel like I could finally like be myself and like just be honest with like what's going on. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, good shit. As always,
Good
subscribe
shit,
to the pod. Go fucking check out Spencer's stuff.
Yeah.
He's probably got a lot of people that already know who he is and shit. So yeah, share the pod if you're liking it. Plenty more episodes. Season 2, we are back. We're doing like 3 a week right now. So fucking come in for that Diary of a CEO spot.
Man.
Knock that guy off.
And also, if you come from my stuff, subscribe to the pod. Great content. Yeah,
exactly.
Check the boy out.
Let's go. Right. Cheers for watching. Appreciate the support as always. Catch you in the next episode. Peace.
Sweet.